for the non-profit sector. Mr. Naami is the Senior Project Manager and Senior Communication Expert at MYSEA. He is an expert in business development programs, has an extensive background in training, coaching, and consulting locally and internationally. He is also a lecturer in leadership. He's part of the British Global Thinkers Forum and has been recently appointed as an advisory member of the International Education Partners IEP Italy. Amin is also a dear friend, and I can see every time I meet him how much he is passionate about the social service. You are an inspiration really in this field, and he's very proud of what the partnership has achieved with MYSEA. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. His Excellency, Minister Mustafa Asakiri, distinguished guest speakers and panelists, dear partners, colleagues, and friends. Thank you all for being here today to mark the official closure of MYSEA, a project we've been working on for almost 3 years now, and I'm happy and proud to announce its effective completion. As I look back and take stock of every achievement, I cannot but acknowledge the energy which flowed through the whole consortium, an energy to be seen and valued as the driving force of its success. Together, we have navigated the hardships of the pandemic, conquered the very challenges of the process, and overcame enormous hurdles. Many times, the barriers used to appear insurmountable, but unbreakable resolve and persuasive power, which the team had, made sure that we prevailed over all of them. It was to the credit of each and every member who showed a never give up spirit and kept constantly marching forward. Dear partners, it's true that MYSEA was not a simple project, but definitely it was a fascinating experience. It's obvious that MYSEA was not an evident job, but certainly it was a joyful and a challenging journey. It's evident as well that MYSEA was not an easy task, but absolutely it was a worth doing endeavor. As we are celebrating together the closing of MYSEA, the NECBC Med program comes to an end too. I cannot here but thank the European Union, represented by so many good friends and colleagues, for the generous funding and the sharp vision, a perfect combination that verified how important it is to invest in such initiatives as a way to supporting young entrepreneurs. This assistance to MYSEA has provided tens of career opportunities to young, senior, and professional talented staff members, trainers, mentors, coaches, consultants, translators, and coordinators, in addition to more than 1,200 direct beneficiaries and entrepreneurs in the 5 partnering countries: Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Jordan, and Lebanon. Those who had the chance to learn, acquire, and master the knowledge and the skills of the different components of the program. Wholeheartedly, I congratulate all our participants for their hard work and dedication and wish them an even brighter future. I am sure that the rippling effect of MYSEA will keep growing and continue to inspire other indirect beneficiaries to follow in their footsteps. Dear colleagues, any major completion requires a closure, or even a proper closure. And the most important aspect of the closure is the lesson learned. What worked, what didn't work, how to improve, and what are the takeaways to carry on to the next project. From a professional point of view, we at LDN have many takeaways, as they were the key factors which made the project keep ticking. And I'm sure our good partners have their takeaways too. Dear friends, my special thanks go first to the coordinator of the Joint Technical Secretariat, JTS, of the NECBC Med program, Mr. Fabrizio Paloni, who is with us online today. The assistance, care, and support you provided, Mr. Paloni, on multiple occasions have been instrumental in keeping the project moving forward and staying on track. My deepest gratitude goes to our good friends at the lead partner organization, CIAS Onlus, in Italy and Tunisia, represented today by Loredana Gioni, for the remarkable guidance, management, and leadership at every step of the way. Without you, we couldn't have done it anyway. Moreover, I would like to thank our partners at the University of Palermo in Italy, Euro Training Educational Organization in Greece, and the Jordan University of Science and Technology in Jordan for the high sense of collaboration. To our associated partners, you were a real added value to the project. Not to forget, definitely, our experts, consultants, trainers, and collaborating centers for the excellent job. Your great work is going to leave a lasting effect on the beneficiaries. As well, a big thank you goes to our guest speakers. We are extremely grateful for you taking the time and effort to be here and share your long and rich experience. To our panelists, your insights, perspectives, and contribution to the event is invaluable. Your inspiring presentations will definitely keep our audience motivated and eager to learn more about the topics. Needless to mention, our elegant master of ceremony and the wonderful moderators. As always, you will be impressively charming and extremely appealing. Special thanks to all the freelancers, graphic designers, printing houses, digital producers, interpreters, technical assistants, photographers, hostesses, and everyone who contributed to this event. To the management of Le Royal, thank you for your hospitality and for making us feel so welcome. To Odette and Melissa, thank you for your generosity and special treat. You are simply wonderful. And now, how can I forget our partners at the Tunisian Union for Social Solidarity, UTSS? Our gratitude goes to you for your friendship, support, and confidence in moving this event from Tunisia to Lebanon. On behalf of all MYSEA consortium members, I would like to ask the president of UTSS, Mr. Mohammed Khouini, to come on stage. As well, Saad Safir, Mr. Asakari, Loredana, would you come please on stage? وزير مفوض ونائب السفير، بعتذر على الخطأ بالتسمية. Allow me please to speak in Arabic. خلينا ننوه شوي باللي صار. هذا الحفل كان مفترض يكون بتونس. وهي رح نقدم اليوم عربون صداقة وشكر وامتنان عبر السيد خويني لكل أصدقائنا بتونس. مع كل المحبة والتقدير والشكر والثقة المتبادلة بسرني باسم كل فريق العمل وكل الشركاء ببرنامج مايسي قدم لك عربون وفا وشكر.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. فرصة تتيح للوفد التونسي ليتقدم بالشكر، جزيل الشكر، إلى المقيمين في لبنان، المسؤولين في لبنان، على برنامج MYSEA لحفاوة الاستقبال والشعور المتبادل، ملؤه المحبة والأمان والاطمئنان والعمل الجدي لمستقبل شباب تونس وشباب لبنان وشباب الأردن. لا يمكن وأنا في هذا الموقف أن لا أعبر عن التاريخ الذي يجمع تونس بلبنان، التاريخ الذي يجمع قرطاج، تاريخ الفينيقيين ولبنان. لا ننسى أن مبدأ قرطاج وانطلاق قرطاج هو انطلقت الملكة ديدون من صور من لبنان وأتت إلى تونس لتقيم في تونس، وأقام الفينيقيون في تونس قرابة 10 قرون، من 800 قبل الميلاد إلى 146 بعد الميلاد، بعد من أحرق الرومان قرطاج. وتعرفون قصة قرطاج، كيف أخذت الملكة ديدون قطع من الأرض لتقيم فيها مع ما أتى معها من لبنان من الجنود، وقدم لها الملك آنذاك قطعة أرض، واتفق معا أن تكون هذه القطعة لا تتجاوز جلد بقرة. كيف لها أن تقيم في مكان والمساحة لا تتجاوز جلد بقرة؟ أخذت جلد البقرة وقصته خيطا طويلا حتى استطاعت أن تأخذ أكثر ما يمكن من الأرض، وأقامت فيها 10 قرون، مع كل الحروب التي قامتها مع الرومان بين مد وزجر حتى 146 بعد الميلاد. طبعا هذا التاريخ خلف لدينا العديد من العادات والتقاليد والتفاهم بيننا. وعندما وطأت رجلاي والوفد التونسي أقدامنا بيروت، شعرنا بالاطمئنان وشعرنا بالابتسامة وشعرنا بالحفاوة. تبادلنا مع بعضنا هذا البرنامج، برنامج MYSEA، وانطلقنا من المشاكل التي يعيشها الشباب في كل من البلدين. طبعا الشباب هو طالب الشغل، طالب شغل والكرامة معا. وأن في تونس في سنة 2011 عندما أتى الربيع العربي في جانفي 2011 انطلق الشباب ليطالب بالكرامة، يطالب بالشغل قبل كل شيء. إذن برنامج MYSEA أتى ليساعد على حل بعض المشاكل. تعرفوا أن مكانة تونس في إفريقيا جعلتها تحظى بقربها إلى أوروبا عن طريق سيسيليا، عن طريق إيطاليا، وتعرفون المشاكل التي نعيشها سواء كان داخل تونس عبر حوض البحر المتوسط. لا أن شطوط شمال تونس تبعد 70 كيلومتر على شطوط سيسيليا، وهذا أصبح طريق الموت بالنسبة إلى شباب تونس وشباب القارة الأفريقية التي يمر عبر تونس نحو أوروبا. إذن عندما نرجع إلى هذا البرنامج، هو في صلب المسائل التي هي مطروحة في تونس ومطروحة أيضا في عدة بلدان أخرى في الشرق الأوسط. إذن برنامج قمنا به منذ 2020 في تونس، وحقق الكثير لدى شباب تونس بناتا وذكورا. من بين الأشياء التي طلبها الشبان تلك المهارات الحياتية التي لابد أن تكون لدى الشبان، إضافة إلى ما حصله كل شاب من علم عبر الجامعة، لكنها هذا الدبلوم الذي تحصل عليه الشاب هو دبلوم اللا عمل. الشاب له دبلوم لكن لم يستطع أن يجد شغلا، لأن ليس هناك توافق بين ما تخرجه الجامعة التونسية والشغل الذي يتطور يوما عبر الوسائل الحديثة والتقنيات الحديثة. نرجع إلى برنامج ميسي، هو برنامج جاد قمنا به بكل جد، واستطعنا أن نحقق الكثير بقدر ما أخذ الشباب الذي عبر الورشات وعبر اللقاءات التي قمنا بها، أخذ هذا الشباب الكثير من بين المختصين. لكننا نحن كمسؤولين والاتحاد التونسي للتضامن الاجتماعي الذي أرأسه هي جمعية خيرية، وتهتم من بين ما تهتم هي كيف لنا أن نسد الفقر، وكيف لنا أن نساعد العائلات الفقيرة والعائلات المعوزة والعائلات محدودة الدخل. إذن هذا الشباب العاطل عن العمل والذي تحصل على دبلوم والذي هو آت من عائلة فقيرة لابد أن نساعده، وبرنامج ميسي قام بالكثير والكثير بقدر ما استمعنا إلى الشباب وأخذنا منهم برنامج نكيفه لهم بقدر ما حققنا الكثير. أنا أريد أن أتقدم باسم الوفد التونسي بكل الشكر على هذا التعاطف وهذا التعاون الذي ينفع شباب تونس وشباب لبنان وشباب الأردن. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. كنت أتكلم باللغة الفرنسية لكن ما أتكلم باللغة العربية، إن شاء الله قمت بالواجب. ألف شكر.
Last but not least, some people just do the job, but some other make it happen. I cannot but be grateful today to those who worked relentlessly to keep MYSEA up to the standard. Those who were always there, fostering throughout the entire project a genuine culture of trust, a high sense of responsibility, and the real spirit of innovation. Those who incredibly often went above and beyond. It gives me a great pride to be part of a team like you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming LDN's team on MYSEA project. Financial management, Samer Aoun and Josette Asmar. Project coordination, Mit Sayaghi and Rita Nasif. Communication and social media, Antoinette Mubarak. Field coordination and project assistance, Johnny Jreish. Database and administrative assistance, Yara Al-Hakim and Alec Doneria. Finally, Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And that's what MYSEA is all about. Thank you.
Our next speaker is the Director of the International Cooperation and Co-Development of CIES Onlus, Italy, expert in the design, management, monitoring, and education and evaluation of national and international projects co-financed by the EU. a lead partner in the MYSEA endeavor. Ms. Loredana Gionni will give us an overview on its history, its pathway, and the project's outcome in the partnering countries. Ms. Gionni.
Buongiorno a tutti e buongiorno a tutte e welcome. Bene, oggi siamo molto contenti di essere qui per condividere la storia, i processi, i risultati del progetto MYSEA con tutti voi, ma soprattutto siamo contenti perché oggi credo che sia anche un momento di scambio tra noi, tra voi tutti, per apportare nuove riflessioni, nuovi contenuti e avere prospettive future per la continuazione di questo processo che è stato attivato dal progetto MYSEA. Ringrazio ovviamente, mi associo ai ringraziamenti che sono stati fatti a tutti gli ospiti, sia in presenza che online, e ringrazio in particolare LDN e Amin e tutto lo staff che ha organizzato questo bellissimo evento, che è in questo bellissimo posto anche. Quindi vi ringrazio e passerò a dare appunto alcune informazioni sul CIES. Alcuni di voi sicuramente già ci hanno visto, ci conoscono, e poi passerò a dare un overview del progetto MYSEA, che è appunto il suo percorso, i suoi risultati che ha avuto in questi 3 anni. Bene, il CIES, come vedete, Centro di Informazione e Educazione allo Sviluppo. Siamo una ONG che lavora da 40 anni praticamente sui grandi temi dell'epoca, di questa epoca. Abbiamo iniziato appunto all'estero sulle questioni migratorie e dello sviluppo e siamo... scusate, adesso devo capire ovviamente come funziona. No. Chi mi ha dato questo prima? Perché non... Di là. Ok. This one? Ok. Ok. Come vedete, il nostro obiettivo da 40 anni è quello di promuovere processi di sviluppo sostenibile basati sulla pace, sui diritti umani, sulla democrazia, ma soprattutto sul dialogo tra le culture e differenti religioni. Ok. Allora, lavoriamo appunto sui grandi temi, come dicevo, sulla migrazione, la mediazione interculturale, l'educazione, la formazione e il lavoro, la comunicazione e la sensibilizzazione, sempre sui grandi temi, e la cooperazione internazionale. All'estero lavoriamo in collaborazione con i partner locali per promuovere processi di capacity building delle istituzioni, della società civile e delle comunità in alcune aree come la governance, i servizi, la protezione ambientale, l'educazione, il gender equality, il training, e, la formazione e la cultura. Con il nostro centro per giovani, arte e scuola d'arte promuoviamo percorsi di educazione formale e informale in collaborazione con associazioni locali, scuole e università. E con il nostro spazio di orientamento alla formazione e al lavoro promuoviamo praticamente percorsi di formazione e di inserimento lavorativo basati su progetti individuali per elaborare i migliori profili per ogni persona. Scusate. Ok. E siamo arrivati al progetto MYSEA. Ok, allora il progetto MYSEA, come già avete ascoltato e avete visto dal video, praticamente è un progetto che appunto ha avuto una durata di 38 mesi, finirà a dicembre 2023 con un budget di 3 milioni e 600, di cui il 90% di finanziamento da parte dell'Unione Europea, e coinvolge 5 paesi. Si inserisce nella priorità che è quella di incrementare le capacità professionali dei giovani, in particolare dei NEET e delle donne, e rientra nell'obiettivo tematico che è quello della promozione della inclusione sociale e della lotta contro la povertà. In questo quadro, ovviamente, il nostro obiettivo specifico è stato quello di incrementare la occupabilità dei giovani e delle donne in 2 settori particolari, agri-food e waste management, nella green e blue economy, come attraverso il training focalizzato su questi settori e soprattutto sul rafforzamento di una governance locale tra attori locali, TVET, imprese, istituzioni, per poter allineare i programmi formativi alle esigenze del mercato. I beneficiari, come avete visto, sono giovani tra i 18 e i 24, NEET fino ai 30 e le donne di tutte le età, ma soprattutto sono stati beneficiari anche gli attori economici, i local stakeholder e gli attori del settore, del terzo settore, del non profit, e le TVET. Allora, è uguale, i partner, avete già sentito, sono stati l'Unione de Solidarité Sociale in Tunisie, l'Università di Studi Palermo, noi, Eurotraining dalla Grecia, il LDN dal Libano e la Jordan University dalla Giordania. Mentre menziono i nostri partner associati anche che ci hanno accompagnato in questo percorso, che sono il Ministero del Lavoro e delle Politiche Sociali italiano, l'ANET, Ministero dell'Ambiente, e il CS Tunisie in Tunisia, la Youth LED Algeria, la Camera di Commercio greca, le municipalità di Cesine e Mokhtara in Libano e l'associazione dei Date Association e scusate, basta, ho finito. Ok, ho finito. Ok, scusate. Ok, allora entriamo un po' adesso un po' più nel merito di quello che è stato il processo di MYSEA e dei suoi risultati e delle cose che ha attivato. Allora, uno dei pilastri del programma NCBC Med, come sapete, è la cooperazione cross-border all'interno dei paesi di quest'area del Mediterraneo. Perché questo? Perché ovviamente si risponde a delle sfide comuni. MYSEA ha cercato, MYSEA ha cercato nel suo lavoro, nel suo percorso, di contribuire a costruire una comune identità mediterranea, trasformando i confini, diciamo, in opportunità di collaborazione e in opportunità di sviluppo. Sappiamo bene, ecco, noi abbiamo affrontato queste sfide che sono state appunto dove vediamo che la disoccupazione si attesta tra il 20 e il 35%, dove un giovane su 4 rientra nella categoria dei NEET, dove c'è ancora un mismatch tra la formazione e le skill richieste dal mercato del lavoro e dove noi abbiamo ancora un gender gap molto rilevante. L'abbiamo affrontato, diciamo, identificato appunto questi comuni sfide e queste, diciamo, opportunità. Quali erano le opportunità? Facendolo con uno scambio di conoscenza, delle buone pratiche e diciamo, nello scambio di esperienza, soprattutto condividendo processi decisionali. È un progetto che è stato anche molto faticoso, però abbiamo avuto un processo decisionale sempre condiviso, sempre partecipato tra i partner che sono stati coinvolti in questo processo, ma anche con gli stakeholder, anche con i partner associati, anche con altri attori. Su questo possiamo dire che le attività che sono state poi realizzate secondo questo approccio sono state la ricerca in tutti i paesi, con un'analisi cross-border, la costruzione di una metodologia formativa con l'identificazione dei contenuti per poter costruire i percorsi formativi e un piano di comunicazione e visibilità omogeneo e armonizzato tra tutti insieme per raccontare e per condividere con il grande pubblico l'avanzamento del progetto, ma anche i contenuti soprattutto. Scusate. Allora, possiamo dividere il progetto per andare un po' più in dettaglio, in profondità, in 3 grandi aree di intervento, che sono state appunto la ricerca, il training e l'occupabilità dei giovani e delle donne. Dove abbiamo lavorato sono i network e i territori, l'attivazione di network funzionali e importanti per le attività di progetto, e la comunicazione e disseminazione dei risultati e di quanto raggiunto e le best practices. Andiamo sul primo. Siamo partiti dalle attività di ricerca nella prima fase del progetto, dove abbiamo praticamente analizzato le aspettative dei beneficiari, dei giovani e delle donne, le aspettative di lavoro, e dove abbiamo anche si sono analizzate le competenze più richieste dagli attori economici e le tendenze occupazionali. Infatti l'obiettivo era quello proprio di individuare i bisogni formativi a livello locale di ogni paese per realizzare poi un'analisi comparata al fine di costruire dei percorsi formativi comuni. Sono state realizzate 5 analisi paese e un'analisi cross-border transnazionale. Sulla base della ricerca e praticamente sui risultati della ricerca è stata definita una metodologia condivisa e partecipata per l'elaborazione del percorso formativo e praticamente abbiamo costruito una parte teorica con 20 moduli articolati in 4 percorsi formativi curriculum e 20 microlearning che servono e rafforzeranno il processo di apprendimento con dei percorsi formativi, più una parte pratica che si definisce come training on the job o stage, che sarebbe una parte di apprendimento che avviene in azienda della durata di 300 ore. Sono aziende ovviamente di riferimento dei settori che il progetto ha preso in considerazione. Ok, allora tanto per darvi un'idea di che cosa sono stati i pacchetti, i percorsi che sono stati appunto identificati e poi erogati. Abbiamo il primo percorso delle soft skills, digital skills, fondamenti della blue e green economy e le competenze imprenditoriali. Questo ultimo era facoltativo, mentre i primi 3 erano praticamente dedicati alle persone, ai giovani e alle donne che avevano appunto intenzione di avviare e di intraprendere il percorso formativo complessivo. Vedete che per esempio nelle competenze digitali abbiamo sviluppato moduli come l'applicazione dell'intelligenza artificiale, l'agricoltura digitalizzata, l'applicazione di ICT o comunque o per esempio nelle competenze trasversali o le soft skills abbiamo avuto la risoluzione di conflitti, pianificazione dello sviluppo di un percorso di carriera per ogni persona e via dicendo. Mi preme sottolineare che ad esempio nei fondamenti della Blue e Green Economy abbiamo affrontato tutti i grandi comparti, diciamo, dalla produzione, lavorazione e logistica alla sostenibilità e conservazione ambientale. Ogni percorso, ogni curricula era di 100 ore, quindi un totale di 400 ore, di 300 più gli altri diciamo opzionali. Allora, come è avvenuto il training? Come è avvenuto questa grande attività, diciamo, di formazione che ogni paese ha visto e ha coinvolto appunto un numero abbastanza consistente di beneficiari? Allora, a un certo punto voi sapete che il Covid ci ha costretto a ripensare un po' le attività, ad allinearci a una nuova, diciamo, a un nuovo approccio anche nella realizzazione dei progetti. Quindi abbiamo organizzato la formazione sia a distanza che in presenza, in alcuni paesi a distanza con ovviamente momenti anche in presenza, quella che chiamiamo blended training, mentre in alcuni paesi è stato fatto direttamente in presenza con momenti o a rafforzamento di sessione online. L'intero percorso, sia online sia in presenza, è stato caratterizzato da un tutoraggio molto diciamo, prossimo alle persone, e con la presenza di tutor, di docenti e delle guide pedagogiche. Quindi abbiamo avuto più o meno, fino adesso vi dico che i dati non sono assolutamente definitivi perché abbiamo ancora quasi 3 mesi di progetto, però al momento abbiamo circa 800 persone coinvolte che sono o hanno finito il corso di formazione, lo stanno per finire o l'hanno iniziato da poco, a cui seguirà un orientamento professionale o seguirà un orientamento professionale per l'inserimento in tirocini lavorative o stage, e al momento tra gli attivi e in attivazione a breve abbiamo 284, circa 300 tirocini. Ok, la metodologia, come dicevo appunto, diciamo della formazione si è focalizzata nella costruzione delle, diciamo, delle community e delle comunità di apprendimento, con il supporto ovviamente delle guide pedagogiche e dei tutor per la presa in carico e la costruzione di un percorso personalizzato formativo altamente individualizzato. Ogni persona ha avuto un tutoraggio, una presenza di persone che l'hanno seguita, che l'hanno ascoltata e che, diciamo, l'hanno indirizzata lungo il processo di apprendimento. Abbiamo avuto poi la formazione come percorso individuale, però inserito in un processo collettivo con momenti condivisi con gli altri corsisti, anche quando si è trattato di una formazione che è stata erogata principalmente online. Questo per evitare ovviamente la solitudine, ma anche per costruire relazioni tra i corsisti, per costruire opportunità di scambio, per costruire opportunità, diciamo, di sviluppo futuro. La terza che vedete è stata appunto un altro elemento integrante e di successo di questo percorso di formazione, che poi ha portato ad anche altri risultati, che è stata quella del coinvolgimento del territorio. Quando diciamo coinvolgiamo il territorio, diciamo anche che coinvolgiamo tutti gli stakeholder locali che sono interessati e che possono trarre beneficio da queste attività. Quindi abbiamo coinvolto le istituzioni locali, le imprese, gli enti del terzo settore e abbiamo attivato una dinamica anche molto interessante a livello locale. Dunque dal percorso formativo anche diciamo, sulle capacità imprenditoriali era previsto, e abbiamo praticamente stiamo costituendo tra tutti i paesi 18 associazioni sulle 15 previste, che stiamo supportando nella formalizzazione adesso, negli aspetti formali, ma i gruppi già sono stati ovviamente creati e si sono, come dire, si sono organizzati questi gruppi in maniera da poter essere anche in maniera da poter avere un ruolo fondamentale anche nella futura sostenibilità delle azioni di progetto. Vedete alcuni esempi, abbiamo messo alcuni esempi di associazioni che al momento si stanno costituendo. Andiamo per esempio da un comitato per l'impiego di giovani alle comunità di cooperative di comunità che ovviamente promuovono sia i temi del progetto, ma promuovono anche quelle potenzialità del territorio che possono essere inserite nell'ambito di un processo di transizione ecologica. Andiamo sulla secondo area di intervento, che sono stati network, l'attivazione di network e l'attivazione di territori, dove il lavoro che abbiamo fatto si è tramutato in 24 seminari realizzati, ok? Dove sono stati coinvolti attori delle TVET, imprese, istituzioni locali, e questo per fare cosa? Per favorire proprio la creazione di reti all'interno del territorio e al fine di promuovere quella formazione, ma soprattutto l'inserimento lavorativo di giovani, donne e NEET. Abbiamo ovviamente partecipato, vi diciamo alcuni appunto, Università La Sapienza, Lega Coop, ISMEA, le municipalità e via dicendo, la Camera di Commercio e via dicendo, su questi seminari tecnici. E abbiamo poi segnato già 24 agreement che incoraggiano ovviamente lo scambio di buone pratiche, promuovono le partnership nei territori e soprattutto i tirocini presso le imprese. Abbiamo inoltre partecipato a eventi internazionali per disseminare le attività del progetto di MYSEA, lo stesso MYSEA affinché il MYSEA sia presente, come dire, sia conosciuto. Siamo stati al Salone del Gusto Slow Food di Torino, a Ecomondo di Rimini, e appunto abbiamo portato il progetto anche a degli eventi finali, e abbiamo trovato anche, costruito sinergie con altri progetti e istituzioni finanziati dall'NCBC Med in primis e da altri fondi europei come Helios, Edenmed, Cluster, Circle, Resmile, AIVI, Fusilli e UNESCO Unevoc. Con UNESCO Unevoc stiamo in particolare verificando e costruendo forme di collaborazione per la disseminazione delle attività e dei materiali che il progetto che MYSEA ha prodotto, e vedrete oggi pomeriggio nel panel 3 la rappresentante di UNESCO Unevoc. Ok. Allora, se una delle buone pratiche del progetto che vogliamo segnalare è proprio questa, no? Quella che ha dato vita comunque a progetti di sviluppo locale e ha permesso, diciamo, di attivare quelle forze, quelle energie nei territori che possono essere in futuro appunto luoghi di altro progetto, altri diciamo percorsi di formazione e la generazione di altre opportunità di lavoro. Abbiamo infine stiamo finalizzando i 5 paper per il Decent Work e la Skill Agenda, uno in ogni paese. E appunto questo perché per fare proposte innovative nello sviluppo delle politiche pubbliche per un decent work per giovani e all'interno di percorsi di sostenibilità. e soprattutto cercare quelle proposte innovative che incoraggino il matching tra, diciamo, le richieste del mercato del lavoro e diciamo, i profili presenti. Infine, e quasi ho finito, abbiamo la comunicazione. Anche qui in comunicazione, in quest'area, abbiamo voluto creare quella consapevolezza, quella disseminazione, quella consapevolezza sui temi del progetto attraverso 15 workshop creativi in 5 paesi e che hanno coinvolto al momento che hanno coinvolto più di 200 persone tra giovani e donne. I workshop creativi che erano previsti erano appunto fotografia, videomaking e storytelling. Alcuni di questi prodotti oggi avrete modo anche di vederli durante la giornata. Inoltre, ovviamente, ci siamo dotati di un piano di comunicazione, di attività di comunicazione sistematiche e puntuali per raccontare i temi, i contenuti e i risultati del progetto, le attività soprattutto del progetto, attraverso una campagna di comunicazione sui social media. E vedete appunto siamo su Facebook, su X, ex Twitter, Instagram e LinkedIn. E quello che vedete ovviamente è il sito di progetto su NCBC Med. Bene, allora io ho finito, scusate la lunghezza, ma è stato, MYSEA, voglio dire che è stato un progetto molto complesso, con molte attività, molti obiettivi, che ci ha, come dire, ci ha fatto lavorare molto, soprattutto perché siamo capitati anche in un periodo in cui c'è stata la pandemia, come ricordava Amin, dove ci sono state tanti problemi anche a livello di alcuni paesi. Quindi abbiamo dovuto sistematicamente riorientare le attività, la strategia come portare avanti queste attività e la strategia come raggiungere i risultati, il che non è stato sempre ovviamente facile. Quindi andare in profondità del progetto MYSEA significa lavorarci quasi un giorno e quindi abbiamo cercato di essere sintetici il più possibile, ma sicuramente ci saranno prodotti, ci saranno paper, ci saranno appunto abstract, eccetera, che potete vedere sul sito di progetto e potete vedere anche sui social. Quindi io vi ringrazio ancora tutti e sono appunto contenta di nuovo, siamo contenti di essere qui e di condividere con voi questo grande percorso. Grazie mille.
Mr. Mohammed Aitani, economic expert at the Presidency of the Council of Ministers and NECBC Program National Contact in Lebanon. Mr. Aitani has a wide experience in studying, preparing, and coordinating development and investment projects. Let's hear what he has to say about the MYSEA project on the national level and the NECDC program. Please welcome Mr. Aitani.
Good morning, everybody, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to meet you today to participate in the closing ceremony of the MYSEA project of the Cross-Border Cooperation Program for the Mediterranean Basin countries, founded by the European Union. This project aims to enhance youth and women employment in the fields of agriculture, food, and waste management. It achieves this by developing targeted training, strengthening local governance, and fostering alliances between economic forces and vocational education and training institutions in the sector. Aligning educational curricula with the aforementioned sectors needed. First of all, I would like to praise the professionalism of the Lebanese participants who worked despite the difficult economic conditions that Lebanon is going through and brought the program to the stage of success. knowing that Lebanon's participation was in 53 projects out of 97, which is equivalent to 55% of the number of projects funded by the program, with a total value of around 134 million euros. In this context, and on the occasion of the forthcoming signing of the new financial agreement for the next MED program towards the end of this year, I extend an invitation to all previous program participants and those interested in engaging and benefiting from it. Here, I would like to thank the program's managing authority for its full support and provision of necessary facilities to the Lebanese participants, considering Lebanon's current economic and political conditions. I emphasize the importance of these programs and their positive impact on the Mediterranean basin countries, including the project we are celebrating today. I extend my gratitude to everyone present, particularly the EU delegation in Lebanon and the partners in the projects, namely Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Jordan, and of course Lebanon. I wish everyone success and continuous prosperity for the program. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Maria D'Alisa, Public Officer at the Italian Ministry of Labor and Social Policies, previously a social worker in immigration services. She believes in the importance of intercultural dialogue, exchange, and working on professional skills. She is here to represent the Italian Directorate General of Immigration. Ms. D'Alisa, the floor is yours.
Buongiorno a tutti e a nome del Ministero del Lavoro e delle Politiche Sociali Italiane, grazie per questo invito, grazie per questa calorosa accoglienza che abbiamo ricevuto e vi porgo i saluti del nostro Direttore Generale dell'Immigrazione Stefania Congia. Io sono molto contenta di essere qui oggi e di essere stata parte di questo progetto, per quanto noi siamo stati dei partner di supporto alle attività, perché MYSEA ha rappresentato una sfida perché ha puntato l'attenzione su giovani, donne e persone che sono in cerca di lavoro, ma su temi e settori che ancora oggi non trovano il giusto spazio nel mercato del lavoro. E parliamo della green e blue economy, che rappresentano oggigiorno dei settori strategici per lo sviluppo di ciascun paese e anche e soprattutto per il nostro futuro. Quindi per noi MYSEA è stata l'opportunità di conoscere e di collaborare con il CS Onlus, e ringrazio Loredana, Giorno e tutto il gruppo di lavoro, ma è stata anche l'opportunità per fare networking, per condividere informazioni, esperienze e strategie che ciascun paese mette in campo proprio per sostenere l'occupabilità. E infatti questi sono gli obiettivi comuni anche del lavoro della nostra direzione generale: lo sviluppo dell'occupabilità di specifici target group. In particolare noi ci occupiamo di migranti che rientrano comunque tra le donne, tra i giovani che sono in cerca di una posizione anche di vita migliore, e soprattutto attraverso lo sviluppo delle competenze delle persone, perché lavorare sulle competenze linguistiche e professionali vuol dire puntare all'aumento dell'occupabilità. E questi sono gli obiettivi specifici che noi perseguiamo attraverso la nostra attività. E in particolar modo in questo momento il nostro Ministero ha proprio pubblicato delle linee guida per la promozione di percorsi pre-partenza di programmi civico-linguistici e professionali che puntano a fare cosa? Puntano a sostenere le competenze delle persone e a fare in modo che queste competenze acquisite possano rappresentare il punto di svolta per entrare nel mercato del lavoro. E questo infatti è il nostro obiettivo che stiamo perseguendo e che promuoviamo soprattutto nella collaborazione con i paesi terzi. E accanto a questo importante strumento, e qui ci colleghiamo di nuovo a MYSEA, Noi crediamo fortemente nello strumento del tirocinio, perché rappresenta quello strumento capace di far fare ingresso e anche il rientro delle persone nel mondo del lavoro, che permette anche di coniugare la scuola, l'apprendimento insieme con i percorsi appunto di sviluppo delle competenze e l'ingresso nel mercato del lavoro. E anche su questo tema, come Ministero, abbiamo da poco pubblicato un nuovo decreto che punta proprio a sostenere l'ingresso in Italia per tirocinio formativo, prevedendo 7.500 quote per ingresso da paesi terzi, quindi extra UE, che intendono fare ingresso in Italia per motivi di lavoro, per fare un'esperienza lavorativa insieme con gli imprenditori italiani. Questo perché vi racconto tutto questo? Perché questo rappresenta per noi il contesto, il quadro di riferimento, anche per augurarci di continuare questa collaborazione col CIES e con tutti i partner coinvolti, affinché il tema dell'occupabilità, dello sviluppo delle competenze, possa portare a progetti concreti di mobilità circolare anche in Italia. Io ringrazio fortemente tutti voi, l'organizzazione e il CIES per questo momento di confronto che sarà sicuramente interessante e arricchente. Grazie mille.
Dr. Asmat Karachi, NECBC Program Eastern Mediterranean Regional Office Coordinator in Jordan. He is specialized in water management and environment. Dr. Karachi will be talking about the importance of the NECBC program and the MYSEA project in Jordan. Please welcome Mr. Karachi.
Good morning, Swal here. First of all, I would like to express my thanks to LDN for the organization for this great event and for the hospitality and all the logistic arranged to support our participation. First of all, I would like also to, on behalf of the managing authority, to thank the project team and for the partnership consortium for this great project that really fit in the heart of the program and the objectives. You know that all the current trend now is to transition toward the low carbon economy or a green and blue economy, which is part of this low carbon economy, and such a transition is really need a new skills, a new marketable skills, a new training and vocational training programs for the young people and for the women in order to success this new economy in our communities. So the ENI program, which is one of the EU-funded programs supporting such a transition through providing the support for cooperation projects between countries on both sides of the Mediterranean in order to enhance the cooperation first, then exchange the knowledge and the expertise between the participating countries. The program in general has launched 2014 and has funded 80 projects covering a wide range of issues and subjects for starting from SMEs development to the environment and climate change mitigation and commercialization of research results, and one of the most important things is the social inclusion and fighting against poverty. These projects is very important, and it is in the heart of the objective of the EU as well as of the program. And in Lebanon, as just mentioned by Mr. Itani, now there is a very good opportunity. We have about 53 projects with around 50 million of euros that has been implemented or benefited for the Lebanese organization, and we are so excited and delighted and very happy to see further participation from the Lebanese organization in the new program. As the ANI now is about to close, we are now in the closing event of one of the 80 projects here in Lebanon, and a new program, Interreg Next Med, has been launched by the EU, and the program will continue managing this new Interreg Next Med program. This new program has 15 participating countries with a total budget around 234 million euros. This new program is already launched, and we are now waiting to finalize some administration work, like the signing the financial agreement between the participating countries and EU, in order to launch the first call for a proposal. We hope, or we are now ready to, after this signing the agreement, to launch the first call of proposal. We hope by October next month, and there will be a very good opportunities for all the participating countries, the 15 participating countries, so from Tunisia, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, Algeria, also from the European or Western side, from Spain, France, Italy, Malta, Greece, Cyprus. I hope I not forget countries, but all this information are available in the website. So the new call for proposal is about to be launched, hopefully, as I mentioned, next month, and we are looking forward to see many projects from Lebanon. And I just mentioned by Mr. Amin that the lessons learned from the current project maybe support you in developing and preparing a new proposal for the new Interreg Next Med. So, by the way, we are in the office. We are available now also to make awareness and the training event, and we will visit all the countries covered by the branch, by the office, by our regional office, and we will back also here to Lebanon to make a training, and all this announcement in close cooperation with Mr. Aitani will be disseminated to all the organizations. So we hope to see you all in our next event, and to this end I would like to wish the project consortium all the success, and to thank again the Lebanese LDN for this great organization, and thank you all.
Joining us online from Italy, Mr. Fabrizio Paloni, coordinator at the Joint Technical Secretariat of the NECBC Med Program Italy. He is a project and program designer with a long experience in EU-funded programs with special focus on Mediterranean countries. A monitoring and evaluation expert, Mr. Paloni has been following the progress of MYSEA project till the end. Welcome, Mr. Paloni.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. Unfortunately, I could not attend with you this event, even if it was my wish to share with you this opportunity. Dear authorities, dear partners, I would thank you for organizing this meeting, being aware that, as Loredana John said before, MYSEA has a specific path and is a complex project, ambitious project, facing the problem of employment of youth and women in the Mediterranean, which is a very, very relevant problem for all of our countries. Then, It is true that this project has a long path. It is also true that it is a brave project somehow, since it has been able to go ahead also in a very, very difficult period, in particular for Lebanon. Minister Amin Nahma mentioned the efforts before. It was a struggle for us to find some solutions to allow the financial flow towards Lebanon. This is a problem that has affected all the beneficiaries from Lebanon, in particular public ones included. Nonetheless, we could cooperate with all of them. And I would also thank Mr. Mohammed Aitani, with whom cooperated, and we could find proper solutions to allow the project implementation in Lebanon. Just to mention that MYSEA is one of the 53 projects where Lebanon is represented. Lebanon, as a small country, is participating in ENI program 71 times with in 53 projects. So one of the most dense participation in the Mediterranean. And despite the several difficulties belonging to the financial crisis and the social difficulties after the blast in the port, Lebanon has kept implementing the actions, the projects, reaching also excellent results. These in all the fields where the country is acting in the program, so in the priorities related to SMEs that invested mostly the tourism sector, the transfer of technology and knowledge, social inclusion, not only through MYSEA project, but there are some other actions implemented there, and finally in the environment. It is also worth reminding that the program is granting over 22 million for implementation of activities in Lebanon, offering the opportunity to develop the capacities and in the specific case of MYSEA, improving the match between the demand and offer of labor, with a specific focus on relevant sectors such as agri-food and waste. Let me thank the whole partnership that is collaborating strongly since the beginning, from Italy, from Tunisia, from Jordan. Just I know that my friend Fahmi Abu Al-Roub is there, and Italy, Greece, Tunisia, Jordan, and of course Lebanon. The JTS is keeping an open line with the project, being aware that we are at the final event. Nonetheless, the project is not ending today. There are still some cherries to be put on the cake, and there will be an effort to be done at project management level for the final reporting. So we shall cooperate some more in the next weeks and months. I am aware that this event is also a motivational event for some of us, showing the progress in in the field of employability of youth needs in particular and women. So let me end here my short speech, in which we wish you to keep up the good job, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paloni. Mr. Mustafa Asakiri, Minister Plenipotentiary of the Tunisian Embassy in Beirut, will tell us about the importance of such initiatives to the Tunisian society. The MYSEA project has been performing also in Tunisia, of course, through the Tunisian Union of Social Solidarity. Mr. Asakiri, the floor is yours.
السلام عليكم مرة ثانية. الحقيقة فوجئت لما كنت مبرمج، لكن السيد أمين أنا أستجيب للدعوة بتاعه. أختتم هذه الفترة الصباحية كما هل. على كل أنا هذه المناسبة أنا سعيد جدا وأن يمثل سفارة الجمهورية التونسية هناك في بيروت نيابة عن سعادة السفير، وهذه المناسبة أهنئ فيها السيد محمد الخويني وهو رئيس منظمة عريقة في تونس، منظمة وطنية في تونس. كذلك أرحب بكل الوفود وكذلك الوفد التونسي اللي في جاء عدد كبير، وهذا ما يبرز الاهتمام تونس بمثل هذه المشاريع. أنا سعيد جدا وأني أرى، لأني حضرت العديد من اجتماعات من هذا النوع والملتقيات، وهذه المنظمات التي تعمل مع خاصة موجهة لحاملي الشهادات العليا. كما تعلمون معناها في عديد البلدان العالم هنالك موضوع مطروح وهو تشغيل حاملي الشهادات العليا. نعم، ليست الستينات، ليست الثمانينات، ليست التسعينات، وليست الألفية، هناك تغير كل شيء. ومنذ أن سمعت منذ 20 سنة خلت نتحدث عليك أن تحدث برنامج كريه فوتر بروجي. هذه واليوم وصلنا له. لابد هناك المنظمات الدولية وعلى رأس الاتحاد الأوروبي يعمل بشكل جيد في خلق هذه التكوين والسوتيان لاكومبانيومون معناها دي جون بور كريي لور بروبر معناها بروجي. سي تري امبورطون، هذا لاحظته بالكدا. وبرنامج ميسي كما أرى هناك موجه للعديد من البلدان العربية ومن ضمنها تونس التي تنتفع ببرنامج حسب منذ سنة 2020 وقدمت نتائج إيجابية، ومع حضور منظمات مختلفة من المجتمع المدني، من منظمات تونسية، من مؤسسات كذلك تشتغل من القطاع الخاص. هذا شيء جيد للاهتمام، لأنها تدفع بإيجاد الحلول والحد خاصة من الهجرة غير الشرعية. الهجرة غير الشرعية هذه المطروحة تشاهدونها الآن كلها على المنابر التلفزيونية والإذاعات والمنابر كذلك المجتمعات الدولية، تتحدث كلها عن الهجرة غير الشرعية. الهجرة غير الشرعية هذا معناها أقول فيها فينومين جديد، هذا في السنوات الأخيرة خاصة. وكما قلت هو معناها عدم وجود معناها ارتفاع نسبة البطالة في البلدان دفعت الناس إلى قوارب الموت للتوجه نحو الضفة الأخرى. دونك هناك البرامج هذه أكيد تلعب دور كبير في الحد من معناها الهجرة الغير الشرعية، وتشجع معناها البلدان، تشجع الأجيال هذه الساعة الأجيال القادمة كذلك للاستقرار في بلدانها وبعث مشاريعها على عين المكان تفاديا لكل هذه المخاطر التي نراها يوم مآسي في بحر الأبيض المتوسط. نعم، أنا من جهتنا تونس تعمل بكل جد وبكل إخلاص مع كل المنظمات من أجل إيجاد الحلول، لأن هذا مسألة الهجرة غير الشرعية ليست هو مسألة بلد أو لا، هي مسألة جماعية، مسألة دولية، ولا بد وأن تتضافر كل الجهود من البلدان المتدخلة وكذلك المنظمات الدولية أن تعمل أكثر وتقدم كثير من البرامج حتى تحد منها، وكما قلت من خلال بعث التكوين في البلد الأم حتى لا يغادر. مثال كذلك التكثيف من الجامعات الأجنبية مثلا، وكذلك المدرسين كذا، وتوفير كذلك تسهيلات حتى في المتابعة للدراسة بالخارج حتى لا يلتجئ معناها للخروج بشكل سري أو بشكل غير شرعي. أنا أطلت شوية، لكن أقول أتمنى لمؤتمركم هذا النجاح والتوفيق، وتونس تدعم مثل هذه المشاريع، وإن شاء الله نشوف مشاريع أخرى كذلك مختلفة في عدة ميادين وتنتفع منها المنطقة العربية ومتوسطية ككل. وشكرا لكم.
You can engage with us on social media, #MySEA, #MySEAProject. Thus ends our first part of this day. LDN would like the opening speakers to get back on stage for a group photo. Then we will have a short break, a coffee break. Everyone? Everyone. Abi Haidar Nasrallah as moderator, attorney at law, governance and development specialist, environment and energy legal expert, advisor for several EU, UNDP and USAID projects. She will be hosting from Lebanon and Jordan experts in promoting green energy, startups, entrepreneurship and leadership, waste management, public policies, grants and financial controls.
Thank you. I believe we have a short video maybe to start with. Okay. Good morning, everyone. First, I would like to express my gratitude, and I'm very glad to be part of the MYSEA final event project, especially tackling a very important topic, which is the green and blue economy in agribusiness, waste management, and energy. Today we gather to explore, shed light upon the potential challenges surrounding these three interconnected sectors that are paving the way towards a sustainable future. The green and blue economy encompassing agribusiness, waste management, and energy holds promises for our planet and society. It is an approach focused on harmonizing economic growth with environmental sustainability, seeking to reduce carbon emissions, protect biodiversity, and alleviate poverty. Throughout this panel discussion, we aim to delve into these three vital sectors, exchange knowledge, and learn from vital experiences and brainstorm creative solutions. By assembling experts from various fields, we hope to uncover emerging trends, discuss policy implementations, identify collaborative efforts crucial to realizing a greener and bluer future. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us embark on this enlightened panel together as we explore the potential of the green and blue economy. Thank you once again for joining us, and let's welcome our distinguished guests. First, I would like to start with Dr. Ali Karnib. Dr. Ali is a water and sustainable development expert. He's a professor at the Lebanese American University. Dr. Ali, talking about the green and blue economy, it's a very broad topic, especially it's very important nowadays. Tackling it from different sectors, and maybe because you're specialized in water sector, can you tell us better how we can integrate sustainability from an education perspective into formal and crucial curriculum? How much this is important to update the curriculum and be ready from the educational level in order to embark in the society and delve into employment projects.
Thank you, Dr. Christina. And I would like firstly to thank everybody, all the presence here, and particularly Eldean, Dr. Amin, and all the contribution to this interesting MYSEA project, and congratulations for this important project. So let me start from the beginning. When we talk about sustainable development, green economy, energy, agri-food, as you said, Christina, all these sectors are interconnected, and maybe we have to add to these sectors the water, the environment, the ecosystems. So to close the cycle, so we would have these intersectoral, multi-sectoral, actually, main sectors that are involved or important to achieve the sustainable development. So from this starting point, we have to say that scientifically speaking, these sectors are deeply interconnected, and one action on one of these sectors will affect deeply the other sectors. So since we are here enhancing and promoting youth and education and science, so we need to actually look into this sustainable development problem from the education and scientific point of view. In this regard, I would say that, I would like to say that we have a good experience at LAU. We create a new department. This is newly created in 2020, and starting now receiving students, and around 2,000 students each year are enrolled in these courses that we offer at this liberal education department. Let me tell you that these courses are related to water security, sustainable energy, sustainable food, and ecosystems, and gender. All these are related to the SDGs. The idea was to create a new, fresh mindset from the academic institution like LAU and students to provide this fresh mind about and to talk about the sustainable development and how to achieve this sustainable development. So from there, I can say that, yes, it's very important now due to the challenges that we are facing, climate change from one side, population growth from the other side, and other economic and environmental crises that appear. So education now should be one of the main targets for every actually international communities or even NGOs. They have to look into these fresh mindsets to achieve this sustainable development through education and capacity building.
Okay, thank you. And what are like maybe the challenges you face, like from the educational perspective, given like maybe if we take Lebanon as a case study from economical perspective, financial collapse, are there any challenges like you're facing at this level?
Yeah, of course. Actually, we can see that the main challenges in education and capacity building is the economic crisis, because sometimes students that willing to go and to involve through these types of courses like water security, sustainable energy, the courses that we offer at LAU, but we found that most of students need support. Mm-hmm. And in this regard, I would like to invite donors to help these students to enroll in such courses and in such, let's say, academic curriculum.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ali. I would like now to move to Dr. Fouad Zmkhol. Dr. Fouad is the Dean of the School of Business and Management at St. Joseph University. Hello, Dr. Fouad. Like we tackled now from a pure academic perspective, we would like to hear from you, because you're a dean at the university and you have the economic perspective, how can you give us like this kind of merging between academia and the economy, especially when it comes to these new emerging crises and sectors? Energy security, for example, water, waste management.
Good afternoon, Christina. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Amin, for having me on this panel, for your flexibility. You know, as a strategist, usually before answering directly your questions, when we talk about economy, when we talk about business, it's always important to have 2 points. You know, I mean, in mathematics, the first law, I mean, to have 2 points to know exactly where we are and where we're heading. And once you have these 2 points, I mean, you can draw the line, and this line can be the plan, the strategy, even if this line will oscillate with time, upward, downward, but finally you have to specify exact where we are and where we're going. First, where we are today, we have to admit that the whole worldwide economy have changed. We agree that in Lebanon we have all our problems, and this is something really atypical, but finally we have to admit that we are not living in the same world. We're not living in the same economy. We're not the same people. We're not the same businesses. We don't have the same countries. So first of all, we have to admit that what we're living today is the preparation or putting the pillars of the new world, of the new economy, of the coming economy. So many interrogations, so many question marks, some positive insights, some negative insights. So first, we are in the process of building history, of building the new economy of the coming world. So you have country tackling that having working for the 2 years of COVID, preparing the next stages, focusing on blue and green economy, on health economy, because all of a sudden we woke up that everything, all the contingency plans that were prepared by all economies were completely wrong. 99.9% of the people in the world could not even admit that a pandemic could stop the whole economy. So you have countries, specifically Scandinavian country, focusing on the blue and green economy, not only because it's related to health, but this is really economic to the growth. It will create a lot of new employment. It will be directly linked to the future growth and for the coming generation. As of Lebanon, I mean, honestly, I'm really sorry not to go into this exactly specific case because, I mean, we were the green country, we're the blue economy, and we have destroyed our own economy, our private sector economy, and we have destroyed with our own hands the blue and green economy we had because we used to be the green country and we used to be the blue country. So why I wanted to start with that is that we have to admit that we are building a new worldwide economy. We're building a new view. And this is extremely important to know as people, to know as companies, because any company that want to face this new world have to admit that they will have to face the requirement of the worldwide economy. Disregarding what's happening in Lebanon, any companies living in Lebanon to survive will have to export their goods, will have to show exactly the requirement, the worldwide requirement. And the worldwide requirement will be based on the blue economy, on the green economy, specifically on this mindset. So this is very important to be into the line that this is how the worldwide economy will merge. I loved when in videos you have discussed. I can raise my voice. I did not use all my time. I mean, I'm sorry. Usually they do that when I talk too much, but now I just started. I just started, so okay. I've heard, they talk about entrepreneurship, and I all agree. I mean, entrepreneurship is the flavor of the day. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur, startup as excellence, and this is really the... But again, you have to, I'm sorry to go on to be the black sheep of today's meeting. I mean, if you go into entrepreneurship and into startup, unfortunately, more than 90% of those companies cannot continue. They cannot continue on the first year. Just to give you worldwide numbers, I mean, 25 to 30% cannot continue the first year. You have 30% that cannot continue between the third and the fifth year. And then you have 40% after the 5 years. And this can be discussed maybe in a second round because of financing, because of problem with partners and all this. However, why I'm tackling that is that what we need today and today's news economy is just entrepreneurs. We need intrapreneurs. And what's the difference between intrapreneur and entrepreneurs? Intrapreneurs are entrepreneurs within existing company, within existing groups, within existing initiative. And an entrepreneur will come with a company that want to restructure, a company that want to face the new economy and say, okay, please come up and you tell us what to do. Come up with your idea. We'll put the financing. We'll give you the office. We'll give you the telecommunication. Please come up with our company and be the intrapreneur. And those companies will build what we call SBUs, strategic business units, where you will have those youths coming with new ideas, with their creativity, with their innovation, and specifically to focus how to restructure companies. And here I can say that any company in the world, and specifically Lebanon, have no other choice than to restructure. And a restructuring cannot come unless you bring new people with innovative and creative idea within those groups. Because, you know, I mean, the R&D department, research and development, is something quite costly. So in order to have this in your own company is to attract the talents, the minds, coming to be part of the groups. And if I can end up, because I lost 3 minutes for the microphone, right?
3 minutes. We'll have a second round, hopefully.
Okay, so just to
So
give you a
just
flavor,
quickly.
in case they're giving back the microphones, I will propose the 10D strategy. The 10D strategy, one of the Ds is in the title, is development. So I leave it up to you to think about other Ds, 9 Ds, that can help us all to face the new worldwide economy based on green and blue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Very interesting. Like, we'll get back to know more about the 9Ds. Moving to Dr. Muna Hindiye, first, welcome, you're coming from Jordan. Dr. Muna is a professor at the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department at the German Jordanian University. And she has an extensive expertise in the field of water quality and wastewater reuse and solid waste management. Taking the last topic, solid waste management, can you tell us more about the waste management in the agriculture sector? Because it is an opportunity to achieve cost savings while increasing profits and increasing employment. So it's a whole value chain. Can you, for example, if you can summarize the Jordanian experience from policies, because it's very important to shed the light on policies and governmental support, then to take us back into the implementation.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Actually, I would like to begin just related to the sector of green jobs. Green jobs, it's included in the renewable energy sector, that we want to create more jobs than the traditional energy sector. Construction sector, we want to improve methods for materials of construction, heating, ventilation, and energy efficiency. Transport sector, important for reducing the consumption of fossil fuels and transfer to energy fuel. Recycling sector is to reduce energy consumption and pollution by recycling materials such as paper, iron, steel, and aluminum. And the most important, what we want to talk about today is about the agriculture sector, which can contribute to the creation of green jobs through the development of organic farming. First of all, if we want to do policies or developing a green economy, it's important to have support from government. Involvement through long-term public policies. These policies has to aim to improve energy efficiency through green technologies. We want to improve waste management through these policies. We want to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. We want to use renewable energy sources. We want to improve production of biofuels and user-friendly production systems, improve integration of advanced materials and energy efficient equipment in various industrial sectors. Now, how we can facilitate the transition to a sustainable economy in developing countries to promote green jobs and skills. The concept of green jobs and skill are still emerging, and a number of knowledge gaps remain. And we need a framework to measure and monitor green jobs. And we have to assess the employment impacts of the transition to the green economy. Still, it's lacking in developing countries. But there is several initiatives we can deal with the green growth and green economy, which support green jobs and skill. This is through developing banks and cooperation agencies aim for inclusive green growth and poverty reduction. From national perspective, in order to incorporate green jobs in the national agenda and countries should include green growth in the country vision. We have to develop scoping studies to understand which sectors will be most affected and will need the most support. We had to align current policies with the findings. We have to develop and implement green jobs initiatives taking into account the country context and of course, to set up a monitoring plan that includes green jobs. From operational perspectives, projects can take different approaches, such as top-down, bottom-up, mainstreaming, and indirect approaches towards supporting green jobs and skills. And as you know that two projects are not exactly alike, so each project should work through the different stages in a way that suits its specific circumstances, which is ensuring the process is collaborative and consultative. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We'll get back to you to know more, like tackling from an academic perspective, then tackling the topic from economic growth and development, then from the policy framework. It's like very useful to go for a case study, a project with Mrs. Tina Al-Bustani, Head of Grants and Financial Controls for Water and Energy for Food Program at Beirut. Tina, can you describe more for us? We talked about policies, we talked about academia and economy. From an implementation perspective, given your experience in this program specifically, WE4F, can you tell us about this program and how you're integrating youth and women? Because it's very important, and now our panel is a very highlight the example of having women playing a major role in this sector.
Thank you. Yes, so I'm very happy to be with you today. Water and Energy for Food program is an international initiative. It is funded by the Federal Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation, the German Federal Ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Government of the Netherlands, the European Union, the development agencies of Norway, NORAD, of Sweden, SIDA, and of the US, USAID. It is implemented by a consortium of partners led by Beritech, and the other partners are IUMI, Chemonix Egypt, and CIWAS. We operate in 10 MENA countries, among which Lebanon, Tunisia, and Jordan. So what do? We want to help mid to late stage companies who have solutions to produce more food with more efficient use of water and energy along the value chain. And also, we want, the companies we want to help must have impact on youth and gender. Their solutions can be innovations, technological innovations, or business model innovation, allowing the penetration of technology and of good practices in water and energy in the agri-food sector. We have helped so far 36 innovators, and across different types of segments. Like we have, it goes from organic farming to composting to insect-based feedstock to hydroponics, precision agriculture, biodigesters, etc. So a wide range of activities. And we help them through grants, technical assistance, and support with investment readiness in order to raise funds. We also help them with support in enabling environment challenges and with partnerships. We currently have an open call for innovation, and we recruit on a rolling basis the new grantees. We give grants between $25,000 and $250,000. And what we want is to help them achieve sustainable growth that is sustainable from a financial perspective, from an environmental perspective, and from a social perspective. And we select eventually business models who have this embedded in the business model. So whenever they will scale, the impact will also scale. Even if during the journey we help them develop and improve their impact on gender, on youth, on what we call BOP, that is base of the pyramid. Now, how do we help this? When it comes to gender, even in the selection phase, we try to hire, we privilege companies with leadership, female leadership, good representation of good gender balance in the workforce, in the management, and products which could be, which have potential to reach, let's say, a good base of customers, of female customers. And we also encourage these companies to look into more, sometimes what we call the missing market. Maybe sometimes there is a missing market for gender that they have overlooked. We encourage them to look into that. And we encourage them to look along the value chain, meaning up among their suppliers, their customers, not only their workforce. So within and outside the company, along the value chain. For instance, if we, let's say, help a goat milk company, we make sure that the shepherds are getting enough technical assistance, enough support. The whole family, including the woman, is getting technical assistance. Same thing with the farming, that the farming partners of the producers are getting the right technical assistance, the right support. For instance, we have in Egypt a producer of of feedstock based on larvae, and he puts the larvae with the rural women, and they produce for him the larvae and the frass, the compost that comes out of it. So these are a couple of examples. When it comes to youth, of course, then you have and yes, for gender, you have we promote the gender equality within the company, equal pay, equal opportunities, etc., gender-based procedures. And when it comes to youth, within the company, we promote empowerment of the youth and technical, and training. And we help the companies retain also, because it is a challenge in the green and in the green economy, the waste economy. The retention also is a challenge. and the identification of good talent. And lastly, I would like to say that it's very important to continue working on this intersection between, for the training, the role of the companies is very important, and involving them as much as possible is very important. We have one solar energy provider who is helping with end-user financing schemes the farmers to get renewable energy for water pumping. And the way he identifies the technicians is that he started by giving, let's say, trainings to teach at a vocational school in his town, and then he started collaborating with development programs to identify these technicians. And lastly, he made his own program, a training program, to help to train across the board, and then he identifies among the trainees the ones that he would find fit.
It's like very interesting how the value chain, and you seek to promote the whole value chain and to ensure sustainability of any implementation, and this is very important. Thank you, Tina. I'll move now to Mrs. Raluca Buna. You would like to ask, or I would ask? Usually with Raluca, it's like we're playing now the vice versa. I usually be the speaker with Raluca, and she's the moderator. So now we're reversing the order. Raluca is the founder and CEO of the World Elite Solutions and publisher of The Exclusive. So we would like to hear from you, Raluca, from a publisher perspective, the media, the role of media, and shedding the light on the importance of these topics, mainly when it comes to green and blue economy, and given your extensive work on energy and promoting women in the energy. So what can you tell us about your experience and why this topic has been like kind of attracting your attention and staying here in Lebanon?
I will not answer the last one. Thank you, Amin, for having me, Christina. It's always a pleasure. Next time it will be different, I promise you. Actually, The Exclusive, when we started it in Lebanon 5 years ago, had a different scope. So it was mainly for business and for attracting investors to Lebanon. Now, this was when I was actually out of Lebanon, but moving here and understanding exactly the perspective of people in terms of electricity problems that in 2018 didn't actually exist because we had generators, and the approach that companies and institutions had in terms of sustainability and renewable energy and everything related to this topic, I thought it would be a good idea to start tackling a bit more this subject and actually promoting mainly the companies that already have started implementing this. And it was also a good opportunity to highlight the effect of the crisis, the positive effect of the crisis on this subject. Now, actually, our approach was a bit, let's say, educational, and let's do it as a awareness campaign. But it actually was more difficult than I expected to be, because of lack of education. This is the main issue. But
lack of education, you mean from the beginning?
I'm not necessarily talking about just the students, but even on a corporate level, on a business level, I mean, people didn't want to get so much in this subject until we were actually squeezed. I'm sorry, but for me, as I mentioned, I think in all my discussions with everyone, this crisis was a very good eye-opener for a lot of companies in Lebanon and people in general. As we can see, the number of transformations. Now, since then, we actually, let's say, evolved or transformed our approach and started having more events on this topic. And lastly, yes, we are focusing a lot on women in energy. It wasn't necessarily on purpose. It just happened. But the reaction of women in terms of being, let's say, focused on and highlighted, and the discussions with men in this sector, and their somehow approach when it was on a public level and when it was on, like, let's say, back office side or on the scene, made me want to do even more, which is why we actually started the Council of Women in Energy and Environmental Leadership. And I was actually surprised by the initiative of women and their engagement to create something that is for them, to create a community, but also to create an impact on the society, on the children. It's amazing.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Raluca. Now I will move to Mr. Roni Karam. Roni Karam is the president of the Lebanese Foundation for Renewable Energy, and we've been working on this sector together since long time.
A few years.
Few years ago, without being precise. Roni, like, energy plays a central role in the green and blue economy, especially talking about renewable energy, clean energy, energy transition, and now globally we're facing what we call the energy security. Why can renewable energy be a game changer, and how, for Lebanon specifically? If you can tell us about the work that you've been doing extensively for the past few years.
Well, thank you, Christina. Glad to be here. You know, as Dr. Fouad mentioned, the world is changing substantially. Things are moving very quickly. And Lebanon has fallen into a major crisis on all levels, on the economic crisis, social crisis, environmental at the same time. And we're all here talking about the sustainable economy, you know, blue-green economy. And we cannot have a sustainable economy without sustainable energy. So I think this is the basis today for what we do as an NGO, as the Lebanese Foundation for Renewable Energy. We started working with AUB and different consultants in the field, and Christina, to promote the energy transition for Lebanon and to be ambitious about this energy transition. This wasn't the case a few years ago, and we were pushing for having 30 to 50% renewable energy for the country. At the time, we were told this is not possible, we don't have enough land, the grid is very weak, we don't have financing, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is something that's been adopted now. And with great challenges, you know, you have great opportunities. As Christina is mentioning, this is a game changer for Lebanon. We need to move to a sustainable economy. We need to move to a productive economy. We cannot have an economy as we've had for the past 30 years. The way our energy sector was managed for the past 30 years has been calamitous. It's one of the main reasons why the country has completely collapsed. We're sitting here in this hotel today, and it's working on a generator. We look at a beautiful sea view, and we can't even swim in the sea because it's polluted. So we have all these, you know, catastrophes that are coming, and there's a great opportunity today to adopt this new energy model. There's a new paradigm. There's a paradigm shift. We've seen, for example, the market today moving from almost 100 megawatt to 1,000 megawatt in 2 years without any financing, without any governance, without any government, without any regulation, because of need. And we see this today as a huge opportunity to leapfrog into accelerating this process and into providing this opportunity for our economy. We need not only energy, we don't only need electricity, we need affordable electricity. I mean, hospitals today, there are hospitals today that 40% of their budget today is on energy. Factories, 30% of their budget. So how can we export? How can we be competitive worldwide with such very expensive energy? We talk about tourism in this country. I mean, we're a few kilometers away from Zoo power plant, which is an environmental and health calamity. It's been killing people. Municipality refused to give a building permit to the government in 2014. They still went ahead and extended the plant. And we're seeing that calamity, continuing. So the opportunity today is to be able to move in a decentralized way. I mean, a great opportunity for energy today, renewable energy, and Lebanon has all the components to really be extremely ambitious in renewable energy. We're talking about more than 50% in the next 10 years, if we do the right things. And this is a big if with the existing political system that we have, that will allow us to be able to rebuild our economy, to regain our environment, to provide, to reduce our social inequality and our energy poverty, and this is an extremely important factor. And I'd like to mention one thing. The opportunity today, for example, is that most of the solar and wind projects on a large scale would be in the most vulnerable areas in Lebanon. So, for example, Akkar has a lot of wind potential, and our projects that are being planned in Akkar. Ras Al-Bak, which is one of the poorest areas in Lebanon, has a huge wind and solar potential. Ba'al Gharbi, the same thing. And we work with the municipalities locally to design hybrid systems that will allow them to have solar, battery, and a little ICE to be able to provide them energy. We are in a situation in Lebanon where we don't have water because we don't have affordable energy. Municipalities only have 1 hour of energy a day. So this paradigm shift will allow the economy to move forward, to rebuild, build back better. And from this challenge that we're seeing, we've seen a little ray of light with 1,000 megawatts being installed so fast. And we're pushing today to go to the next 1,000, next 2,000, next 3,000. So we work, for example, with Total, who are coming to do renewable energy projects in the Bekaa. And we worked with them closely to select the sites that will cater for these renewable energy projects. We're working today to implement a large solar park for Lebanon. So the solar park in Ras Al-Bak, for example, which is the triangle Ras Al-Bak Hermil, which is one of the poorest areas in Lebanon, could cater 2,000 to 3,000 megawatts of solar. I mean, 2,000 to 3,000 megawatts of solar. We're working now with 11 municipalities in the Shuf to help them also design these hybrid plants so they can be autonomous. So it's extremely important now to move from power plants on the coast, killing people, destroying the environment. We have 6 plants. They want to build a 7th one. While if we move to a new energy model, we'll be able to go back to 2 or 3 plants maximum, clean up our coast, improve quality of life, improve tourism, and provide huge development opportunities for very poor areas in Lebanon.
Thank you, Roni. But hearing you all, there is something like a combination among you all, between education, as we said, implementation, economy, also education, different sector, media, and from the NGO perspective, given the renewable energy. What a common question, unfortunately we're out of time and want to close, but I want to take a quick second round. Hearing from you, what role does, what's still missing? What's the way forward? And who are the major stakeholders that can support in achieving a green and blue economy, sustainable one? So I will start by you, Dr. Ali.
Thank you for the question. And actually, yes, what is missing and what is the way forward, right? So there's lots of gaps, actually. If I want to talk from the science and education perspective, I would say that we feel that there is a gap of coordination, because I highlight the importance of the initiative Beritech that come, many of innovation projects that come from academia. I know that. So this is very interesting, let's say, initiative. So we need initiatives like that. Bring innovation from universities, from research institutions, and bring it into life, into practical applications. Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, one thing is what Dr. was saying. More relations between big companies and SMEs. More a better enabling environment, as Monsieur Rooney was saying. Better laws.
Rule of law.
Yeah, and probably also more support for these green companies, maybe with some incentives, tax or other types of incentives. More support for the youth also who want to start something new and lastly, I would say to encourage, to create a conducive mentality, encouraging and understanding the climate change.
Awareness raising.
For instance, 70% of fresh water goes into agriculture right now, and water is becoming more and more scarce. Arable lands are decreasing and population is increasing. Food waste is not being tackled as much as it should. So we are heading towards a big issue, and everyone should be more aware of that and act more upon it.
Perfect. Thank you. Dr. Fouad?
Yes, I will come back to my Ds because I think that's a strategy that each one of us can try to implement on a personal level, on a corporate level, and even on a country level. And I will list them quite quickly. The first D is development. Finally, and development is the major core of any, I would say in French we say, la meilleure contre-attaque, c'est l'attaque. Development is the best way to always face the struggles and to face any problem. So development is the first D. The second D will be diversification, and diversification focusing on the green and blue economy, because the whole growth, the demand, the requirements will be based on this new economy. So in whatever business we are, whatever we know, whatever our knowledge, diversification is the core. The third D will be delegation, and this was discussed in my first round. When I say delegate to the youth, delegate to the newcomers, delegate it to the creative and innovative generation, delegate what we don't know and focus on what we know based on the strategy. And the fourth D will be, finally, we have to desire. I mean, you have to desire to face the challenge. You have to desire the change. You have to desire what's going on and not resist the change. So desire on a personal level, on an economic level, on a corporate level, on a political level is extremely important. And the fifth D will be determination. We have to be determined as people. We should not wait for the changes to come from our regulator. Whatever the regulator, we have really lousy regulators, but this doesn't mean that in the world we have better regulators. They have different problems. So the real determination should come from the people, from private initiative, and specifically from the ground. If I go with a 6D is decision, we have to decide what to do. Being in the gray area, waiting for Godot to come is useless. Whatever the problems, we have is decision. We have to decide as persons, as corporation, what we want to do. And my 7Z will be a discovery. We are discovering a new world. We are discovering a new economy. We are discovering a new region. So this discovery, we have to be upfront. We have to be really taking I would say, the major decisions on that. And then we have to redesign ourselves. We have to redesign our economy. We have to redesign exactly the way we used to think. And my last D is discipline. And I would say discipline starts with auto-discipline. Before asking, I mean, for our government to do the changes, our regulator, we have to be auto-disciplined. And honestly, maybe the major pitfall we have in Lebanon is our own auto-discipline. We don't have auto-discipline. So the best discipline starts from ourselves, from the private companies, and then we take it as magnet to the public. So these are my 10D strategy that can be implemented as a personal level, corporate, public level, and region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Muna.
Thank you. My keyword is nexus, الترابط. So we have to do nexus between water and energy and environment and agriculture. This is the important concept, we have to work together nationally between different ministries as well as regionally. So I think maybe if we have higher council for Nexus and we can have cooperation between different countries in the region. For example, we did published paper regarding Nexus, and we found like Lebanon, our leadership in agriculture, Jordan leadership in solar energy. So then we can cooperate together. We can give you energy. You can give us virtual water, what we call the المياه الافتراضية. We can have vegetables from you, as we have a tragic crisis in water capacity in Jordan. So I think if we have to look for Nexus together, working together with different departments, different ministries and regional. Thank you.
Thank you. Raluca.
I would like to stress on collaboration also, but not necessarily between ministries, because if we think of that in terms of Lebanon, we will be waiting for a very, very long time. But even as public sector, private sector, business communities, NGOs, if we would take each of them, we are basically doing the same thing and missing mainly the same things because we don't like to work together. It's a matter, sometimes I feel it's a matter of, well, if we work together, we cannot compete. This is not a competition anymore. And I would also say that we need some behavioral change in terms of all the points, the awareness. I want to stress on this, on the awareness and on education, because we really lack this.
Thank you. Roni?
I think part of what I'm going to say has already been said, but in a different way. I think the first thing is vision. We need a vision. And we haven't seen that at the decision-making level. The vision for our economy, the vision for our energy, the vision for what the country should be in the next few years, or what we will leave to our children. I think the second part is having a holistic approach. At least in terms of energy, we cannot think energy anymore as I'm going to give you 24 hours. I mean, I think in Lebanon, the more they promised us 24 hours, every single time we lost 1 hour. So this is why we're at 0 today. It's been 24 years, so you make the calculation. So you have to look at environment, as we said. I mean, the World Bank today is doing a country report for Lebanon, as they did for Turkey, Egypt, Tunisia, I think, and Iraq, which is a development and climate report. So they go together. So we cannot look at it only as development or climate. This is the whole idea about a green-blue economy. And the last thing is, unfortunately, root out corruption from this ministry and from this, and politics. This is an extremely, extremely, extremely corrupt field on all sides. We import the fuel, it's corrupt. The political mafia gets fed by the fuel. We have a generator mafia. Anything in the Ministry of Energy is corrupt. So it's extremely important. You cannot work and have vision and dream about a future Lebanon with such a level of corruption.
Thank you. So in closing, I would like just to give a quick brief, and then I'll take a couple of questions. But it is clear that the green and blue economy holds immense potential for transforming our approach to agribusiness, waste management, water, and energy. So it's like whole value chain, and this should be interconnected. Also, there should be a collaboration, and there should be policies in place, or else we're heading to a chaotic transition, and this is not healthy. So governments must create supportive policies, regulations, incentives that encourage sustainable practices and investments, because without the private sector, this remains like just one hand clapping alone without having this combination. Also, business should adopt responsibility, transparent practices, and this is very important, while also collaborating across sectors to develop innovative solutions. the role of academics, civil society organizations, individuals. Each one of us has a responsibility to have and play a role in raising awareness, driving consumer choices towards eco-friendly options, and holding governments and private sector accountable. So in conclusion, the green and blue economy represents a transformative path towards sustainability. Our panel really gives this collaborative model, and this should be also translated in ground. So I want to thank each one of you. I want to 3 questions, but quickly, please. Okay, I'll start, please. If you can just introduce yourself quickly and ask your question.
My name is Lina Francis. I am head of a school in Lebanon. It's a Finnish school. And one of our missions, a part of our mission is actually to create or to bring up positive change agents in society. And even though I resonate with every single member of the panel today, panel members, about the ideas, I can really say, based on my 34 years of experience and being back in Lebanon for the past 10 years, that one of the things that we cannot wait anymore for are any policies coming from any government, because there's no such government. That's number one. The only change we need is actually to start from the youth, but at a younger age range, starting from schools and not from universities only. It has to start from kids at school, understanding the importance of waste management, even on their small scale. Another thing is, I'll give you an example of something that we did at school. Our school is only this is our 7th year. And the 2nd year, there was a grade 5 student who came up with an idea for waste management that included Beit Misk. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Beit Misk and the municipality of Larchane area. And everybody was on board because a kid took the initiative to change something in its own community. So what I'm trying to say is everything that was said today is spot on. Every single word, every single idea, every single point that was made of lack of commitment, lack of discipline, lack of decision, lack of coordination between people. It's no longer a competition. It is definitely initiative that should be taken ASAP, and it should start from the young ones.
Thank you. Thank you for this intervention. Questions? Yeah, please, limited to questions, please. Sir.
Yes, thank you. It's very confusing and amazing, actually, ideas. It's a very wide range, and the world is very changing. Everything is changing. We have the climate change, and we have the crisis over the world. A lot of gaps, unstable, uncertain policies, uncertain politics even. All of that lead to what? The confusion. Everybody is confused, as you said. So I agree with the idea. We should have, at least for water, energy, we should have a very, very clear vision. And the green technology, the green strategy, actually.
Okay.
But the most important thing with this very changeable world, I think the most important thing is what has been mentioned by Dr. Fouad, that we have to learn our people how to be very dynamic and how to handle the changes, the sudden changes. This is the most important thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so Are there any questions? No interventions, please, because we're out of time and we want to keep like pace with the schedule.
Thank you. I'm Jackie Malouf from Lebanon. My question is, if you were to the speakers, anyone who would like to answer, you spoke about a paradigm shift. We hear about systems change, changing the mindset, all of those beautiful words. How can we put them to practice in 3 words, like, for example, punctuality, one of them, because we notice everything happening at every event. We arrive late, if we can start with that. If you were to determine that through 3 words, what would you say? Thank you.
Very easy. Jail them all. Jail them all. And then start again.
But quickly, please. Yeah.
Economy. Blended, what we call blended finance mechanisms, that is, let's say, a donor or someone gives a guarantee for a company, a first loss guarantee for an investor in a company, and then a private investment would follow. So new investment tools to channel money into the green economy
For
are needed.
implementation.
Green bonds, for instance, there is something called sustainable finance, if you want to, 2 words.
I would like to thank each one of my esteemed panel speakers. Thank you for all the contributions, and thank you for making the effort for coming today and spending the time. I want to thank you for taking also the time to listen to our panel. And like now, there is a coffee break. Or directly? Okay. Directly. Okay, so we're moving to the second panel. I'll give it to Katya now. Thank you.
The importance of digital skills and innovative ideas.
Thank you, Katya. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to MYSEA Project's final event, this journey that gathered all the innovative and dedication towards shaping a better future. Today, it's my pleasure to lead this panel discussion, gathering all the discussion about digital learning, youth empowerment, and women's development. Please allow me to welcome our guest speakers. Thank you for being with us today. And let's start with Dr. Arif Assoufi. He is the National Coordinator of Erasmus Plus program in Lebanon. He is also the focal point for the EU Dialogue Southern Mediterranean countries on the higher education. Dr. Soufi, we are delighted to have you here on our panel, and we eagerly await your insights on Erasmus Plus program, who's eligible to apply, what are the key objectives, and what are the upcoming calls?
Are you sure? I mean, are you sure you want me to talk about Erasmus Plus? Because, I mean, with Erasmus Plus, we'll be away from MYSEA project, so it's a different story, different program. Okay, so thank you, Rita. Thank you, Amin. Thanks to LDN. Thank you all for staying till the end. You're really courageous and brave people. Let's just say a few words about Erasmus Plus, because I'm not sure, I mean, how many of you are aware of the program and know something about it. Erasmus Plus is an EU-funded program. It's not a project like MYSEA. It's a program. Launched in 2015 to last until 2027 with a big budget goes up to 27 billion euros. And the definition of Erasmus Plus is a program designed to support education, training, youth, and sport. So it's very clear, I mean, definition of Erasmus Plus. It's a program based on cooperation and based on partnership, and each word has a meaning. I mean, each word of these has a legal and contractual meaning. And it's also based on a set of priorities. Priorities are defined by the European Commission for the program. These priorities, because we'll come to the digital issue, these priorities are the digital transformation, so there is no an action
Yes.
which is called digitalization.
Yes.
This is one of the priorities of the program. And the other, the Green Deal, I mean, everything related to environment, climate change, etc. The third priority is inclusion and equity. The fourth priority is values. I mean, everything related to human rights, civic engagement, rule of laws, etc. And the last priority is job creation, I mean, economic growth, which comes which include employability. And you can see that MYSEA project hits, in fact, 3 of these priorities. I mean, you don't need to hit only one priority. You can hit more than one priority. So this is Erasmus Plus, and it's a diverse program. Its diversity comes from 3 different angles. It's diverse in the priorities, because you've seen that we have many priorities which cover, I mean, almost everything. It's also diverse in its actions, because you can see in Erasmus Plus you can fund projects of capacity building, projects of international mobility, project of volunteering, and project of, let's say, virtual mobility. And here comes the virtual and the digital issue. It's also diverse in its outreach, because it targets, the program targets the higher education sector, and it also targets the vocational education and training sector. It also targets youth organizations and also individuals. So you have all these diversity in the program. There is no specific call, because you want to ask about the call for proposals.
Not a specific, because we at MYSEA project we targeted most probably the youth. So
the youth,
we have Erasmus Plus capacity building for youth.
That's right, because today is, I mean, your project MYSEA is mainly about youth.
But we can
there is,
talk about the Erasmus
there is
Plus
no
program.
call for youth. There is no specific call for youth or for, let's say, for virtual exchange. There is only one call per year for all the actions of Erasmus Plus. And the next call is, I mean, the upcoming call is expected to be published next month, let's say between October and November, most probably in November. And we've already planned our information campaign, so for this fall. I mean, we were not going to wait until the publication of the call in order to launch our information campaign. So please, if you're interested, you can come on 13 October. We have an information session for youth and students. On 25 October, we have an information session for the youth organization, so probably you might be interested in that. And on 15 November, we'll have also a big information day about all the capacity building for higher education, for vocational education, Jean Monnet, etc. That's in a nutshell. I mean, it's really impossible to squeeze this a huge program into a few minutes. So it's a huge program. But I'm open to any question if you want.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Soufi. We move forward. Let me welcome Dr. Shaber Sajjan. He's the co-founder and creative director at MindFlares. With your extensive experience in the field, please share with us how digital technology has enhanced educational system, and mentioning the complications towards the technology-driven future and the new trend like artificial intelligence and so on.
Thank you, Rita. أول شيء thank you للاستضافة. هلا في كتير ناس منا منفكر التكنولوجي والاي اي انه it's a totally shift. So let's talk first الاي اي هلا اللي نحن موجودين بين ايدينا بكل البلاتفورمز هن generative AI، يعني tools نحن بنستعملهم. So misunderstanding sometimes انه نحن مفكرين انه رح نستغني عن الهيومن. بس خبرتي بالتعليم اللي عمرها تقريبا 15 سنة وبالكانتربرونور كمان. هالميكس خليني اعرف انه مش مثل ما كمان بالبانل قبل كان حدا عم بيقول انه اللي بدنا اياه اكثر هو سكيلز اكثر من بس تكنولوجي. اكيد التكنولوجي والاي اي هن ان ذا اند تولز، هن بيساعدونا، بس اذا نحن ما كنا عارفين شو الاوبجيكتيف، مين عن جد الستودنت كاودينس، and we apply design thinking methodology تنقدر نفهم كيف نحن بدنا نقدر نساعدهم تيوصلوا لسوق العمل، وخصوصا سوق العمل كثير صار منوع. مثلا كنت عم بعطي كورسز بالمانيا عن الديزاين ثينكينج، في كثير ناس غيروا ميجر من حكيم من مهندس لا يكونوا عم بفوتوا مثلا باليوزر اكسبيرينس. سو صار عندنا كثير بلاتفورم، صار عندنا كثير كورسز، صار عندنا كثير personalization. So what we miss is the empathy. بالاخر الاي اي ام التكنولوجي وكل هلا الجنريتيف اي اي تولز what they lack is the decision making. ما بيقدروا يقرروا عنه وما بيقدروا يكون عندهم empathy. هيدا اللي نحن بالإديوكيشن بنشتغل عليه، نساعد التلاميذ يقدروا يفكروا. اكزامبل نحن بمايند فليرز وقت نستقبل الانترنز بنستقبلهم لفتره طويله يعيشوا معنا، ونعطيهم ريل تاسك، بنحطهم اندر بريشر تيقدروا، لانه بالبريشر بصير في عن جد انا تنساعدهم كيف they solve problem. بنحط منتور حدهم، بنحط كوتش، وبهمنا كمان المنتل هيلث تبعولهم، مش بس قد ايه بيعرفوا وشو بيعرفوا. من ورا هيدا الشيء بيقدروا يصيروا مزبوط، يعرفوا اي تولز بدي استعمل وكيف بدي استعمله باي وقت. لانه ممكن نحن we broke the journey of learning. نحن الانسان صار له بيتعلم الاف السنين، وهلا نحن عندنا تولز جداد هيك دغري بدنا نستعملهم بدون تيستينج، بدون ما نفكر كيف بدنا هيدا الليرنينج جيرني. الاي اي تولز بكل الدومينز يقدروا عن جد يساعدوه تيعرف يقرر، تيعرف يحل المشكله، مش بس يستعملون ويصير باسيف. So this is my experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Overall, the technology cannot replace a human being. It can be a system. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Sharbil. Moving forward to our third speaker, Mr. Elias Bustani, board member at Forward MENA. He offers unique perspective, and recently Forward MENA, approximately 2 weeks ago, have launched a website. It's called Force Attack website. This is a learning platform that empower youth within essential digital skills. Can you tell us more about this opportunity?
Sure, thanks Rita. Hi everyone. So it's also like in line with the previous speaker from Mind Flares. It's all about education and educating youth, and the main striking, if you want, let's say data that we had was how high unemployment is in Lebanon, and at the same time how much people are looking to hire and are not able to find the right talents. So I'm not sure if you're all familiar with the Beirut Digital District, which is a cluster of digital innovation in Beirut that hosts a number of companies in several sectors. And the employers over there are struggling to find talent. So moving to the next slide, you can find the data. So unemployment rate today is around 30%, whereas 88% of companies say that they are not able to find the right talent. Next slide. So that's why we launched, like at BDD Forward MENA. It started from this major pain point. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, and we started piloting several initiatives to check if and how could we transform youth in, yes, thank you so much. So how we can transform youth and provide the skills required in order to place them into jobs. So we worked with the World Bank under the Skilling Up Lebanon initiative, and we did different pilots related to career guidance, to an internship program, and to pilots related to UI, UX development, one of them, for example, DevOps and digital marketing and others. And based on this learning, we launched, so as Rita was saying 2 weeks ago, a platform called Forastech. So any youth can access it. We're targeting from 17 to 35, they can access the platform. It's supported by UNICEF, the World Bank, and the government of the Netherlands. It's in collaboration also with the big tech players from LinkedIn, AWS, Simplilearn, and Microsoft, who are providing like their certificates at severe discounts, and the rest is covered by the funding organizations. So youth on this platform can find career guidance related to the jobs of the future, and also can access trainings that are relevant for to bridge the gap between their skill level and the needs of the market, and then they are connected to job opportunities. So, and to be able to dispatch this, we're working with a solid network across Lebanon. So, because it's not only online, we'll have also to do a lot of activities on the ground. That's why we're working with a number of institutions in order to get there. So I'll end with a short video just that gives a glimpse of the platform.
Yes, this is the video.
عم تدرس وتتعلم وبدأت صف متقدم أو موظف صار لك فترة واقف وما عم تترقى مستقبل قدامك حقق أحلامك بيكفي تتطور وما فيك تتصور وين ممكن تصير سجل على كتير مثل فرصة بتلقى الفرصة فرص منصة إلكترونية تعليمية لكن شكوا كل صبية ما تنطر كتير تسجل على بكير الفرصة فرصك.
Very nice. And yes, and as forward MENA, you have conducted a survey to ensure that Lebanon will be an outsourcing hub. Can you please elaborate about this?
Yes, sure. So going on to the next slide. Okay, so we work with the Boston Consulting Group. They did a pro bono study for us actually, where they looked at different countries, including Lebanon, to understand what is the demand in terms of skills and what are the available skill sets, in order to define for each country what kind of positioning and job clusters they should be targeting. So that's like the main key takeaway of the study was that there are 6 clusters that we need to focus on in Lebanon. So unfortunately, it is on the bottom of the slide, but it is around. No, it's okay, down, please. Yeah. No, it's around CRM, software and app development, engineering, design and consulting services, marketing services, and so on. So we complemented also this with surveys, talking to different employers, as we said before. And the main roles that are needed are around software development, although since we did the study now, AI is disrupting a lot this, even this sector. But there is, of course, a demand for software development, sales representative, project managers, and so on. Now, the thing is, they require a lot of mid-level, which is like the hardest type of talent to find, like people who have already experience. But still, there are 30% that need entry-level talent, which we can train youth in order to fill in terms of position. And targeted majors in line with the role needed are computer science, computer engineer, and then business. And this is like a list of technical skills, digital skills, design skills that are required, like UI, UX that was mentioned previously, digital marketing, Java, JavaScript, and so on. And they all highlighted mostly the soft skills part. They said if the student have the right soft skills, at the end of the day, we can train them over a couple of months to get them up to speed. But if the soft skills are lacking, this is like the hardest part to be able to fill. So from all of this, we derived the list of jobs that we want to target through Forastech, and it's across different tiers depending on how sophisticated the skills required are. So entry level would be like tier 3 will be more digital skills would be more complementing, but you don't need to be like very advanced in it, like customer service or others. Tier 2 is more around marketing, digital marketing, and tier 1 are things around cloud engineering, software development, and so on.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Elias. And now we will move to Mrs. Layal Wahbe. She's the Project and Economic Officer at UNDP, Regional Bureau for Arab States. She's a prominent figure with a remarkable background in her field, and she has been involved in several development initiatives. Layal, please tell us, how do you value the digital learning in the context of youth and women empowerment, and how did you invest the digital skills tools at UNDP?
Thank you. Thank you, Rita, and thank you for having me. It's an honor. And now we're moving to the regional level. And this topic, digital learning, youth and women empowerment, lies at the center of inclusive and sustainable development, and at the center of what we do at UNDP ARBAS, the Regional Bureau for Arab States. If I may give you just a few words about the context. So we all know that in the Arab region today, we are facing a challenge, one that concerns us all. And I've been listening to the different discussions that were taking place before, and it's at the heart of what we have been saying. So it's about this mismatch between what our educational systems are offering across the region and the needs, the evolving, changing needs in the labor market. And this mismatch has been coupled with decreasing employment opportunities, whether due to the pandemic, whether due to the global recession, or economic failure, such as in Lebanon, or conflict in other Arab countries. So this mismatch, coupled with decreasing employment opportunities, has led to a really, really high unemployment rate for youth in particular. And just one figure that would illustrate this, and this is an average. It's 24% of youth across the region are do not have a job, are unemployed, compared to 14% globally. And again, this is an average, which means that some of the Arab countries have a much, much higher rate. And this takes us to the importance of how ill-prepared are our countries in terms of employability scales. So in follow-up to what you have been saying, we really have to work a lot on enhancing employability scales, whether we're talking about technical skills, social skills, digital skills, and other skills. What I'd like to highlight is that digital skills are not a bonus. They're not a luxury. They are really a necessity that everyone should have access to, and for them to access decent job opportunities. And youth do know this. So there are a couple of surveys that have been taking place across the region. While it's ILO did this, UNDP, also the Regional Bureau for Arab States did this in 2023. Many initiatives and many surveys do lead to the same conclusion. Youth do value the importance of digital skills. 60% of the latest UNDP survey across the region, 60% of respondents did value access to digital skills as very important. So youth do know this. So we have a challenge. One of the solutions is actually working and promoting digital skills. Youth know this. So the efforts should be really made, huge efforts should be made in investing in these skills. And at UNDP, we're trying to do this. I'm going to quickly tell you about two initiatives we're currently implementing. One is the regional skills initiative. It's an initiative that is under the Knowledge Project. Again, it's a regional initiative. It's done in partnership between UNDP ARBAS, but also the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation. And this initiative actually aims at upskilling and reskilling citizens across the region. Youth are definitely a big part of it, women as well. And the focus is on entrepreneurial skills, technical skills, social skills, digital skills. And digital skills here include softwares, but also access data analysis, data visualization, AI, and other skills that are needed. And the key entry point was again, a big survey done between learners, between job seekers, and between the private sector to really highlight what are the needs today, what is needed for youth to really find a decent job, and to fill that gap that Elias mentioned before. So the second initiative is a platform. We have been talking a lot about platforms and the importance of investing and working in platforms. As a youth regional project, we have been working a lot with youth. We have a really big network of thousands and thousands of youth. So for us, it came naturally that we need to invest in a platform that would be connecting them, but also providing them with the tools, the resources, and a mentorship module, e-learning opportunities, manuals, kits, whether they are drafted by UNDP or other partners, to really support them in their journey and provide them with all of the technical and digital tools. The platform is going to be launched in January 2024, and it's called the Next Gen Youth Platform. I'm going to end it here, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Layal. Now we will move to Ms. Sana Afwaz, our hyperactive speaker coming from Belgium. She's the co-founder and CEO of Womanpreneur Initiative. And I do personally like the slogan of Womanpreneur Initiative, which said that where women flourish and grow. And during my project, the women had a big target during the skills development and during the training. Can you please elaborate more, and what are your advices for these women to have leadership and entrepreneurship role in the future?
Thank you so much, Rida, for the question, and thank you, Amin, for inviting me. I wouldn't say I have advice for women, but I have advice, a lot of important key advice for the public, private, the key actors, the decision makers, because that's basically where system should change in order to facilitate women's access to entrepreneurship, economy, leadership. Let's just give an overview about what's happening in the MENA region. We have over 50% of women, yet we are still considered as minority. And this is my call not only to the actors in the MENA region, but to the EU. Because as long as you continue to refer women as minority, little change will happen. We are not a minority. We are more than half of the population. Yeah. So that's very important. Second, when it comes to digital access, 56% of women are not internet users in the MENA region. That's huge.
Yes.
But what's very weird and very shocking is that we have the highest number of women studying STEM in the world. It is in the MENA region. Wow. And this is a huge talent, but we have the lowest female employment in the world. So there is something missing, because we have the opportunity, but we are missing it. Like, we are based in Brussels, and I can tell you that when it comes to women in STEM, we have less than 23% of women doing, STEM studies. And yet companies are looking to invest in women tech talents. The government is doing as much as well. But here in the region, we have the women, but we don't see them in the labor market. We are missing the point here, and I think we are not following, the shift, the evolution, the digital revolution. I mean, we are, in certain countries, they are so advanced that they don't even talk about gender equality in tech, like in China. They have a CEO robot running one of the biggest gaming companies in the world called DragonNet. So where is the Arab world in this, in terms of, the shift in this evolution? So for Womanpreneur, it was like a serious kind of, alarm call. And we were like, okay, let's do something. We want to be one of the small actors. First, by being the bad guy in the room every time, shading the lights on these realities. And second, doing something concretely about it. We started with a program of 10 women. Today, we have trained 19,000 women across 23 countries, focusing in Belgium and the MENA region, the Arab world specifically. Next year, we are venturing in the sub-Saharan Africa. What we do, we have basically focusing on two levels. First, the tech training. So we have three main trainings. The first one is on repairing phones and tablets. So we teach women to repair phones, tablets, machines. And this program targets usually the migrant women, women who are uneducated, women who don't have basically, I would say, an educational certificate. then, it's a big part of our societies today, especially in the MENA region, where we have 60% of women working in informal economy. So basically, we are turning these women into an active economic actor, especially that repairing, phones and tablets and machines is a huge industry, by the way. Sony has launched a big center, and they're looking for talent. So we're like, okay, let's do it, and let's collaborate with them and provide them with the talent. So that's one program. The second program is focusing on web jobs. So everything related to graphic design, digital marketing, just like what you do, everything related to website development, application development. And then we have the third program, which is focusing more on cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and robotics.
And these are specific for the Arab region?
So these are for the 23 countries where we are active.
Okay.
And then on the second level, we have entrepreneurship. So basically working mainly with women who are tech founders of different startups. We're focusing mostly on agri-tech and fintech and edtech. So basically through our different education, incubation and acceleration programs, where basically the idea is to push them to turn an idea to a real business. An acceleration program is mostly to kind of put them in touch with investors and basically give them visibility that they kind of need. And also we have been working for a year now on the first female Amazon, which has been just launched, which is basically a platform where you can find all type of services and products created by women. We launched it in Belgium first, and our next market will be Egypt, and hopefully we want to launch it in the rest of the Arab world. So this is basically practically what we do at Womanpreneur. Now, if I can give recommendations, I would say.
Yes.
Again, my recommendations go to the decision makers. First, let's start with targeting, identifying gender segregated data. You cannot solve an issue if you cannot measure it. The biggest issue in the MENA region, lack of data.
Mm-hmm.
We have done it at Womanpreneur. We have in different countries where we're active. I went and I talked to the public sector. I went and I talked to decision makers. There is no data when it comes to gender. So how can you solve a problem if we don't collect data and then we don't analyze it? That's one. The second level, we need to make sure that we invest in women's education. And I don't think that it only goes through schools or universities. Today we live in evolving age. We need to train ourselves. I mean, we are not going to have one job for for the entire life. You have to train yourself on a daily basis. So basically, I believe it's very important to invest in training centers, in organizations, and also companies. Companies need to provide training centers within their companies, train talent, and then offer jobs to these talents. Third, invest in women. Invest in women tech startups, invest in women projects, initiatives. I really believe that women don't need just events or trainings. It should go beyond that.
Yes,
I
do believe.
I think we need to walk the talk and actually invest in women money. The best way to empower women is to buy from women or to invest in women. That's very important. And then the fourth level, I would really recommend and push for collaboration between the public and the private sector and civil society as well. But like really genuine and serious collaborations where one would serve the other actor and actually create economic opportunities in the region. Then you have the legislation. This is a huge problem. In our region, we have a legislation that, I think, 100 years ago, so it doesn't match the needs of the market today. It doesn't match the needs of today. Like, I'll give you an example. Crowd campaign. Crowd campaign is still illegal in so many countries in the MENA region. This is unbelievable. How can we start a business in case we don't have funding, like especially in very troubling countries where you don't have any economic stability, any political stability? I mean, crowdfunding campaigns could be a solution for someone to start a business, but if it's illegal, then how can we going to push this, people to become entrepreneurs and to create businesses? Then you have other issues like women still in the MENA region, in so many different countries, they cannot own lands. And when you go to the bank and you want to take, a loan to start a business, I mean, one of the, obligations is actually to show that you have, something that would guarantee that credit, including lands. But you cannot actually, because you are in the region and because of our outdated legislation, you don't have the right to own lands. So there is a lot of work to be done on that level. And then my advice also, especially for the EU institutions here, to look at the region as a very important key partner of economic and social development. We are facing very, very, very unstable situations at this stage, like both in Europe and in the region. Migration waves will come again. I mean, Egypt, we have more than 105 million people. Like, if something
Huge
happens
number.
in Egypt, you know, the whole region will be in really critical situation. So it is very important to invest, not through, like, you know, the charity or humanitarian lens, I would say, but through a business, economic, and social development lens. Voilà.
Thank you so much, Tana. It's very enhancing. Moving to our special guest, we have Ms. Sanskruti Gosalkar. She's the program assistant at UNESCO Univoc. And let me ask you, how should the field of TVET be involved to keep with the advancement of technology? And how do you ensure that young people are prepared for changing in the labor market?
First of all, thank you very much to MYSEA team and to colleagues over here for inviting me. My name is Sanskruti Ghosalkar, and I am from the UNESCO Univoc International Center for Tibet, based in Bonn, Germany. So I think, as fellow panelists mentioned over here, we need to explore the different facets of technology and how it plays out in the field of technical and vocational education and training, which I will now henceforth refer to as TVET. So in the recent years, with the pandemic, with the lockdown, and different kinds of disruptions that we have noticed in different parts of the world, we have seen teachers especially facing challenges when it comes to online learning delivery. Teachers were put under spot to adapt their learning materials to online modalities. They were having difficulties because there was a lack of awareness of digital skills, and it was difficult for them to engender an online learning community. So it was paramount for us at UNESCO Univoc to identify the necessary knowledge, attitudes, and skills that make up for a digitally competent TVET teacher. And in one of the studies commissioned by UNESCO Univoc, we identified 4 elements that make up for a digitally competent TVET teacher. This includes technical skills, this includes soft skills, this includes industrial needs, which means having a continuous dialogue or liaison between the TVET teachers and TVET providers, as well as the industry. And the 4th one is the use of technology to ensure that teachers are able to impart 21st century skills to students through online learning modalities. Now, beyond our work at UNESCO Univoc, UNESCO as a whole family has also been working on competency frameworks. Earlier this month, in September, UNESCO organized its inaugural Digital Learning Week. A lot of emphasis too excited. So, a lot of emphasis at the Digital Learning Week at UNESCO headquarters was placed on artificial intelligence in education. And at this particular event, they presented the draft competency AI framework for teachers and students. The whole objective of this particular activity is to identify not only how artificial intelligence plays out in the field of education, but also to understand how teachers and students can use AI tools effectively and ethically. Okay, now beyond that, I'll move on to open educational resources. That is another example of how technology plays out in the field of TVET. So open educational resources, as many of you may know, refer to resources that can be retained, reused, redistributed, and so on. And these open educational resources are an excellent source of having access to quality education materials. But a study conducted by UNESCO Univoc a few years ago noticed that the field of open educational resources is almost neglected in the TVET field. And a lot of the reasons for this boil down to TVET teachers and training providers for the lack of awareness among them on how to use these open educational resources in their regular pedagogical practices. Therefore, concerted efforts must be made for capacity building for these teachers and training providers to integrate these open educational resources in their pedagogical practices. But beyond that, a lot of institutional, national, and sectoral changes are also necessary to ensure policies are in place for easier adoption and use of such open educational resources. When it comes to technology, let me also present to you one of the initiatives of UNESCO, which is the Global Skills Academy. The Global Skills Academy was established in the year 2020 with the objective of providing skills for employability and resilience to young learners. This was established with a very ambitious target of reaching out to 10 million young learners until the year 2029. So how does this Global Skills Academy work? On one hand, there are partnerships with international organizations such as WHO and ILO, and there are partnerships with private agencies such as Microsoft, IBM, Huawei, and so on. The purpose of these partnerships: these international organizations and private agencies have access to learning materials. Most of these learning materials are available online, and most of these learning materials are actually free. On the other side of Global Skills Academy is us at UNESCO UNIVOC and a network of TVET institutions of more than 250 TVET institutions in 130 countries, and our access to young learners across the world. So the Global Skills Academy mobilizes these young learners and matches them with the TVET programs provided by international organizations and private agencies to make sure that young learners have access to the right resources, to the right training programs in order to ensure their lifelong learning, to ensure their career progression, growth, and so on. Let me quote an example of this particular initiative. Sorry, let me try. There you go. So I'll give you one example of career guidance and mentorship, especially for female students. As you may know, sometimes females, women, young girls in many parts of the world are pigeonholed into a particular kind of career due to social, cultural, and other factors. So one of our partners within the Global Skills Academy is Dior. Dior is one of the luxury houses I think many of you must be familiar over here. They launched an initiative called Women in Dior, in which they mobilize their employees who act as mentors, and they reach out to young women between 18 and 30 years of age, young female students who especially come from disadvantaged communities. They match these mentors with these female students and provide them coaching for a specific period. And after this coaching period, these mentees are encouraged to create their own projects in order to help other women in their communities. Another example of this mentorship initiative is KPMG, which is an accounting and professional services firm. They reached out and partnered with the National Skills Development Council based in India, and it is a UNIVOC center at the UNIVOC network. So these two agencies partnered to create a mentorship initiative for young girls and women between the ages of 18 and 25 to train them for jobs of the future and to make them more job ready. So as you see, these initiatives and these programs such as the Global Skills Academy and other technological interventions, everything is in place to make sure that quality tertiary and vocational education and training is available, it is accessible and affordable for all young learners. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanskruti. The Global Skills Academy is very beneficial for each one of us. It's very interesting. I will go back to Dr. Sufi to have some recommendation about the educational system. What are the challenges and what are your recommendations?
Higher education, Lebanon.
Yes, exactly.
We're not talking anymore about the challenges in the Lebanese higher education sector, because now the sector is in a different world. Now the sector is struggling to survive. So we are in survival state of play. So the universities are very busy surviving and overcoming the financial crisis. And they are also facing the problem of migration of all its human resources. You know that we're losing a lot of expertise. But if you want to talk about the real challenges faced by the higher education sector, we have to go back to before 2019. We shouldn't blame everything on the crisis, because the sector itself before 2019 was not very good. It was suffering from many fundamental structural issues, like if I want to mention, like for example, the rapid and chaotic expansion of the sector. You know that you have 50 universities in a country like Lebanon, very small country. And the second one was the lack of any strategic vision for the sector. And this absence of the strategic vision, I mean, could be because the state didn't do it, the government didn't do it, and even the sector itself didn't do it. And also we suffered from the lack of any quality assurance mechanism at national level. We suffered from the absence of national qualification framework, and you know how much important this issue is in order to improve the readability of the student qualification and skills and competencies toward the labor market. And also, last but not least, I think we were suffering from the lack of cooperation between the universities. Not only between the private and the public, and even between the private universities themselves. And this lack of cooperation were more visible in the field of research. You know that research needs a lot of resources, financial resources, and even human resources. And they need to federate efforts in order to make research, so that there was no cooperation between the universities. The Erasmus Plus was an exception because Erasmus Plus forced the university to work together, you know, because to be eligible for a project, for a capacity building project, you have to build a consortium of universities. So universities had to work with each other. So we started to see university of the AUB working with LAU, the AUB working with USG, the USG, which is a private university, working with the Lebanese university, which is the club. This is thanks to Erasmus Plus. But it didn't turn into strategic choice by the university themselves. Now what we can do now, we have now at the MYSEA, they have their 5-year strategic plan. So this is starting point. We can start from here. We have to rethink our sector in order to learn from the lessons, because we have to learn from the crisis. I'm not sure if the universities have really learned from the crisis, because if you see their response to the financial issue, you see that, I mean, all they did is they resorted to the dollarization of their fees. So they're still relying on the student fees in order to solve theirs. They didn't have any novelty, any innovation in their way to see the financing of their institution. So starting point is the 5-year plan at the ministry, so it can be taken by the sector itself, and start from there to rethink the whole sector altogether.
Thank you, Dr. Soufi. Hopefully, we will all collaborate for this better future. And we still have a few minutes. I'd like to ask Dr. Sejhan to discuss some potential cultural challenges into the industry and localization. What are your thoughts?
تقريبا مثل ما كنا عم نقول قبل بالبانل، التولز اللي عندنا هن عم السيستم الاديوكيشنال اللي موجودين بالميدل ايست، وكمان كانوا عم بيحكوا عن البلاتفورمز. في عندنا لاك اوف لوكاليزيشن، عم بالاحرى cultural Arabic localization، وهيدا بده بروسيس طويل تقريبا to really understand الكالتشرال والبيهيفيرال والجيرني تبع الستودنتس، وتبع ايفن تبع اللي عم بيعطي تريننج، تبع الانستراكشن والدكتورز كمان، شو الباك جراوندز اللي عندهم اياه، كيف عم بيقدموا المعلومات، والاودينس بالدول العربيه.
I think you can move it from there because it's not working. Yes, Michelle.
Okay, So البوينت هي المنتل موديل. يعني انا كل شيء الدول العربيه من ستودنت اللي معودين يدرسوا بطريقه معينه اتس توتالي ديفرنت عن البلاتفورم ام الجنريتيف الاي اي اللي عنا اياه، اللي عم بيجوا مرات نحن عم نستعملهم تولز اللي عم نستعملهم. سو تشالنج اللي عم نواجههم واي هيلبينج ستودنت هي اللوكاليزيشن وسبيشالي الارابيك لوكاليزيشن. and هون we need أكتر نقدر to understand الجيرني الارابيك جيرني تبع ستودنت. واكيد نحن عم نحكي هون عن 3 different region، عم نحكي عن نورث افريكا، عم نحكي عن ميدل ايست، عم نحكي عن الجولف. so even حتى اللي عنا بريك داون عنا اختلاف بهذا الموضوع. so والشغله الثانيه الكالتشرال سنسيتيفيتي كمان كل بارت ام كل ريجن عندها سنسيتيفيتي. so وقت عم بيجونا التولز، وقت عم بيجونا البروجرامز، وقت عم بيجونا الداتا، وقت عم بيجونا الانفورميشن، هون كمان نحن we need to rethink taking in consideration localization والarabic understanding education background history background يعني كل شيء related لنحن شو معودين وشو بنعرف والperception تبعولنا. اللي نحن شفناه اكثر كمان ببلش هذا الشيء من الانستتيوشن. يعني البروسيسز ايفن كيف معمولين بالeducational platform or universities is totally different than the university بركي بيوروب and USA. so وقت عم بيجينا البروجرام عم بيجينا تقريبا خالص in a box. هون دورنا نحن بالدول العربية to work on really localization how using design thinking methodology اللي هي really to understand نحن السوق تبعولنا لشو بحاجة، نحن وين عم نشتغل، وإيفن وقت عم نشتغل ريموتلي مثل ما كانوا عم بيقولوا الزملاء نحن لأي نوع type of industry ونحن شو بنعرف كعرب بالمنطقة. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharbil. Very insightful. If anyone from the audience have a question for our speakers, yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, Hamid Belhamra from Algeria. My question is about the accessibility of learning digital skills. First of all, the consideration of accessibility to adapted devices. When we came, as we know, the social economic reality of youth in our region, I can consider that only 30% have our own devices that allow them to learn. So my question is how to solve this issue of accessibility to learn digital skills when it comes to most of more than 2/3 of youth have not adapted devices to learn these digital skills. The second one, I have been informed about a lot of opportunities, but the issue is about the dissemination of this information. I will speak about from the Algerian perspective. Most of these initiatives, these opportunities are not known by Algerian. How we can work to promote more this initiative in our regional context. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone from the speakers would like to answer? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for raising this point, and I'm sorry I missed to say this. From our side, the platform is fully adaptable for users with disabilities. So there is an expert that went through all of the adaptability features, and it's going to be there. So thank you for raising this point, and I think everyone should do the same. On the dissemination aspect, we specifically work through country offices, and we have a presence in 18 Arab countries. We work closely with colleagues from the Algeria country office and other countries to disseminate, to get the networks, to work closely on the ground with youth serving organizations and and all of the civil society organizations and so on that we need in our network and that would profit from what we are offering. So we are making sure to disseminate as much as possible, but of course this is challenging. So thanks again for raising this.
Thank you, Layal. So now we can conclude our panel discussion with our... Yes, you would like to answer. Go ahead, please.
Just on the accessibility aspect, I would just like to add that it is just a big challenge, and we explored some solutions around that on some projects, and it was how can we give access to youth that don't have a laptop and then even internet, right? So one thing we worked was with a company called eFlow, and what they did was to adapt the content to mobile phone, because like every home will have a mobile phone, at least like in one household have one mobile phone. But then the challenge is you are teaching them digital skills, but they don't have a laptop, so how can you caveat for that? The solution for that was either to rent out laptops and give it to them for the period of the program, which is not cost effective, or as Layal was saying, having centers in certain locations where the youth can go there and then learn over there. And probably this is like the best approach if there are accessible centers within areas. So, yeah.
Thank you, Elias. So now we come to the conclusion of our panel discussion with a heartfelt feeling. As a junior project manager on MYSEA project, I have witnessed the huge impact that this project had on our societies. So let me thank you, Dr. Soufi, Mrs. Sana, Ms. Sanskruti, Dr. Sharbil, Mrs. Layal, Mr. Elias. Thank you for being with us today.
I guess it's very rare in the Arab world to end on time, so we're sharp at 3 o'clock. I would like to invite all our special guests, speakers, panelists, and so on. We will be meeting and continue our discussion. You go down to the lobby and then you go downstairs to Ruby Hall for lunch and for some entertainment. Thank you very much. I would like to ask my colleague at LDN, moderators, master of ceremony, for a special photo now. And thank you very much. إن شاء الله نرجع نلتقي قريبا بغير مؤتمر. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.